Welcome to the Cinefied Podcast. This is the show where we enlighten you on what film to watch next, whether that be on the big screen or at your own home. This is one that I feel like both me and my guest today, Chris, will agree that you should probably wait for it to come home. But let's get to the guest. Thank you so much for being on here. This is GortheMovieGod. Chris, I am so glad that you were able to come on. How are you doing? Of course.
I'm doing good. I can't wait to talk about this movie because this is going to be one of those movies that anytime someone brings up in the future, I'm just like, all right, hold on, sit back. I need to talk about this.
You need to vent it out.
Yeah. Because like if it was a fully accurate retelling of the game, I'd be like, yeah, they did that and that. Because they decided not to do that, I'm like, all right, sit back and relax. I'm about to tell you a story. But yeah.
Well, the director from the 2006 one is back here. And I guess let's just start. I personally have only seen bits and pieces, or if I have seen them, I don't remember the first Silent Hill or Silent Hill Revelations. I have more memories of Silent Hill Revelations playing trailers over and over when I was in high school than the first ones. So what is your history with the films first, and then we'll go into the games?
I watched the original one. I didn't watch it in theaters, at least I don't think so, but I saw the original one. I remember seeing the trailer for that a lot on like DVDs at the time. And I was like, I already knew it existed, but I didn't really have like an internet at the time. So the only way I could watch trailers was either in theaters or on DVDs. And I remember seeing that and I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know they made a Silent, like I knew there was a Silent Hill movie. I didn't realize it was already out on DVD at that time. I was like, oh my God, it's out. And I remember like going to Blockbuster and trying to find it. And I remember it being kind of hard to find for some reason around here. But eventually I got it. And I loved the first movie. At the time, at least. I wasn't like huge into the franchise at that point. When it comes to like all the lore and all that stuff, because these games get crazy with the lore. But I played the original game. They're some of the scariest games you could possibly play. Like they're terrifying. But I think they did a pretty good job with the first movie. I think it looks right. Christoph Gans, of course, or Gaines, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, but he's of course, the director of the first one, and I think you could tell he understands what Silent Hill should look like. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, he understands like the writing and all the cult aspects. There's a lot of cult stuff in the first one, and as we'll get to this one, there's some cult stuff in this one, which we'll get to. But the first movie looks good. I remember the effects being pretty good. Whenever they had to use like practical effects, it looked fairly decent. There's a couple things that are like, if you know the lore, you know that this shouldn't be in here. Like Pyramid Head, the Pyramid Head character should not be in the first movie if it's based on the first game, because that's a character that's meant for James. Okay. Our character of Return to Silent Hill, of course. And same thing with Silent Hill Revelation. We don't need to talk about Revelation too much. That movie we'll talk about it.
Just out of curiosity, I'll just start there. We'll dive deeper into like creatures, but you're saying that Pyramid Head is purely a Silent Hill 2 thing?
Yes.
Like the game?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, later on they started making more Silent Hill games that were just like cash grabs. So it's just like, well, we got to put Pyramid Head somewhere. But he's like the most iconic thing from Silent Hill, I would say, is Pyramid Head.
He's kind of like the Pinhead of Hellraiser, because it's an ensemble piece and everybody centers on Pinhead. Yeah,
Pinhead is like, even though he's in the first movie for 3 minutes, he's the guy you remember the most. But yeah, Pyramid Head is like that. But Pyramid Head is again, we'll get into it more because they touch on it a little bit in this movie, but he is a James-centric character. There's a reason why he looks the way he looks, and there's a reason why they do that zoom in the movie and it's him. You're like, what? I'm sure you're like, what the? Okay, I get it's him. All right. There's a reason for all that, and it
is for sure a little confusing as someone that has not played the game, but it made enough sense.
It was like, all right, I mean, it's its own demon or whatever. I guess you could just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah. So let's just dive into the premise real quick, and then from then on out, it's spoilers all through. So if you I'll get to it.
Sorry, actually, I do want to say one thing about Silent Hill Revelation. I'm sorry, because I did say I didn't want to talk about it, but it's really atrocious, and it's hilariously bad though. I want to say it's a really good B movie. Silent Hill 3 is also a great game. I love Silent Hill 1 and 3. 2 is the best in my opinion. 4 is also great, but they never made a movie about 4. But 3 is a much simpler story than 2, so you could make a movie where it's just like, all right, you go down the hall and collect the item and go over here and open a door or wherever. It's a lot of puzzles and stuff in those games. But that movie is so laughably bad, and just I don't even know how else to describe how horrible it really is. There's a Pop-Tart jump scare. I don't know if you remember that. So that's, and of course it was a 3D movie, so every 5 seconds there's like something going, whoa, and it's really bad. I don't even know why I stopped. I just had to bring up because I talked about the first movie. I'm like, and screw the second movie anyway.
Well, just because this is coming out during one of the worst opening weekends of, well, definitely the year so far, but of recent memory, and that's due to the weather. For those listening afterwards, there's really bad weather here in my neck of the woods in Ohio. And then Chris, I don't know if you want to disclose where you're from.
Oh, yeah, New York, it's fine. Yeah.
New York. It's not a good time to go to the movies, and it's opening against Mercy, which is also highlighted as a 3D spectacular that is to be seen in IMAX, which I've seen the film. It does not need to be seen in IMAX. No. I think it's a fun, stupid time, but it's not worth 3D or IMAX. So that's we just brought up 3D. So
yeah. It's so funny because like I didn't see the movie, and I don't even know if I will see Mercy. But like every time I watch the trailer for that, it was like you have to see it in 3D. I'm like, is he in a chair the entire time? Like, why do I have to see it 3D on the screens?
The 3D, there's moments in the film where he's in the chair, but it's AI obviously, so his surroundings are like built up around him,
like Minority Report almost, like with all the screens.
Mm-hmm. So that's the reason to see it in 3D. Don't agree, but that's my recommendation, and not go out to the theater and see Mercy. But all right.
So there's no big giant pyramid head guy that throws the sword at the screen. No,
I don't remember it. No.
Okay. Well, that is one thing Revelation has over. I can't remember if it's Revelation or Revelations.
I have it down as Revelations, but I did not look it up, to be fair.
Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't deserve to be looked up.
All right. So the plot or the premise, as on IMDb, is when a man receives a mysterious letter from his lost love, he is drawn back to Silent Hill, a once familiar town now consumed by darkness. Yeah. So, like I said, from here on out, we're just kind of diving into spoilers. It may not be like total spoiler of plot points, but it's very possible we'll lean into those because we're going to be talking about the differences between this and the game that Christoph Gans states it is based on. So, Chris, since you are much more of a horror video game person, although I feel like we're in the same boat where you're more courageous than me, where you will actually play the games. I put it in, or I buy something, I go, this is gonna be fun. Like I remember the last one I bought was like Alien Isolation. I bought that and I was like, this is gonna be fantastic. It scared the shit out of me. Nope.
That game's terrifying. It's like I probably played maybe 10 hours of that game. I'm like, you know what, I got it.
I played like an hour max. I was like, I'm done. I'm
okay. I get it. The alien's so much stronger than me, and every time he gets me, he kills me, and then I have to go back 30 minutes. I'm like, I'm okay. You win.
All right, so let's just kind of dive into the characters that are in this. It's actually not a ton of characters, even though it might seem like it in while you're watching it, because they do just kind of come and go. But I'm curious.
Some of them come and go real quick. I'm like, okay, bye. All right.
So let's just kind of go down the lineup and let me know how, just very vague, how accurate are they to their video game counterpart, if they're very accurate, if they're sort of accurate, or if they're just abysmal representation.
Right.
So let's just start with the lead, James.
Okay. James.
How is his representation compared to the game that's based on?
All right. Comparatively to some of the other characters, he's not. It's not very accurate, but it's a little bit better than some, as we'll get to. But he is of course the main character of the video game. You play him the entire game. There's no swapping to other characters. We are James, so we see everything through his perspective. And for the most part, they do that in the game. We see most of the stuff through his perspective. And he's a completely different person though, for the most part. Like he in the game, Mary exists. He loves Mary. He's coming to the town to find Mary. In the game, they make it very clear that certain things are like not. We'll get into it later when we get into spoilers, because I would have
we're
to
in
spoil
spoilers. I mean, you can.
No, I meant like the full
recap.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
But this version is not. It's not James Sunderland from the game. He's much more reserved in the game. And I'm talking about both the original and the remake, because there was a remake that came out recently, and they're the same. They're accurate. Like they're both similar enough where like I could say that they're both the same character, the remake and the original version. This, he's just like, first of all, he looks completely different. He like the first time we see him, he's smoking a blunt, which is like immediately not James at all. Like the only time we ever see James do anything like semi, I don't know, not depressing is like maybe when he's talking to certain other characters, but for most part, yeah, it's not accurate portrayal of the character at all. He just seems like generic guy, more so than like this like really depressed and very, very disturbed person. Here they try to do that a little bit. It just doesn't come across as I don't know, accurate enough for me.
Maybe this whole movie is just a drug PSA where like when he smokes the blunt, it's like all of a sudden everything else after that does not take place, considering how it all ends.
Yeah, the ending would make you think that, because which we'll get to. But that might be true, actually.
I you know what? That's something that I should have asked Christoph Gans. Be like, is the ending like a PSA because he shouldn't be smoking while driving?
Well, first question, Christoph. What? What the hell? What is it? Did you play the game?
He states he did, but
I believe he did, and he wanted to do his own version of the story. Yeah, 100%.
And I feel like that is the case with a good chunk of directors that take on these video game adaptations. I do think that they do, in their heart, like the game, but they ultimately just can't figure out a way to put it on screen in a satisfying way for them. Yeah. So
I even saw people say like on Twitter, like how hard it just should have been an easy layup to do. I'm like, the game is so complex. There's no way you can do every single thing, and especially in a movie that's like 95 minutes if you don't count credits. Like there's no way. Like this would have to be a mini series to get every single thing correct. Because you're already getting rid of most of the gameplay, because you just can't do that. We have a little bit of it here and there. He hits a couple of the nurses and stuff, and there's no puzzles at all in this. Not a single puzzle in the entire game, or in the entire movie. But you just couldn't do that. So like you have to really like tighten things up. So I understand why certain reveals for certain characters are there, but it's still not entirely satisfying. I guess we'll get to it when we get to the characters.
All right. So next up, we have Mary. How accurate is her character?
Well, in the game, we don't really see Mary a lot. The game starts with James at that bathroom where he's like looking there. He's touching himself in the mirror. That sounded a little worse than I meant. But yeah, he's like he's doing this shit. That's an iconic moment in the game where like that's how it starts. He walks in, he does that thing, and he talks about how Mary sent him a letter. In the game, it's made very clear that James knows that Mary's dead. So in the beginning, he already knows Mary's dead. He like, Mary sent me a letter, but Mary's been dead for 3 years. At this point, he knows she's been dead for 3 years. So he's like, that's weird. It can't be possible. But he's been so emotionally distraught. He said, screw it. I'm still going to go. Just in case there could have been someone screwing with me. I don't know. I'm going to Silent Hill to see what's up. And this, like, it's not clear he knows that she's dead. He thinks, like, he just broke up with her. And then later it's revealed that she's actually been dead for a little while. But, Mary is not fully accurate because we don't know a lot about Mary. She's important. very important to the story, but we don't know too much about her. We know she was sick. We know she loved James, and that's about it. I mean, we know a little bit more later on. We know that she was sick. Her and James didn't have the best relationship before she passed, but like for the most part, we don't really know too much about her. We learn more about her through the character Maria a little bit, and through James and how he talks about her more so than actually see her. In this movie, they 100% just say, well, we're gonna go through a backstory. We're gonna talk about the cult aspect, which has nothing to do with the game. The cult thing is not in the game. At least with
the cult thing you said comes up in later games, right? Or am I wrong?
Okay. Yeah, the other games have cults. And to be fair, Silent Hill 2, I think, does reference cults here and there, but not regarding Mary's character at all. And also in the game, Silent Hill is just a place they visited once and they had a really good time. It was like a vacation. Here, it's where they lived. They just lived there. She lived there her whole life and stuff. In the movie, she just lived there. Her whole family's there, and James moves there and stuff. But like in the game, it's just vacation. Like a vacation. Yeah,
the vacation makes way more sense considering the letter, like saying our special place. It's like I don't consider where you live your special place. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, come back to where we lived. Yeah.
It also makes no sense because it wouldn't be his special place anyway because he hated the place towards the end. It's fucking a cult, and they're doing weird like eating her, but not really like rituals.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening there, but we'll just run down real quick because we do want to dive into more of that kind of weird stuff that's in the film.
Yes.
So I've heard the next couple of characters are very much kind of butchered compared to the last two, which is Angela, who he meets when he first enters the I guess city town. How is Angela so much different here than the game?
Well, Angela is actually a character in the game, like just straight up a person, her own person. She has her own backstory, which is funny because the Mary backstory they gave here about like, you know, what happened with her father and stuff. That's pretty much Angela, the character's backstory, but they just gave it to Mary and then made, again, this is spoilers. So Angela is not her own person in this movie. She's just a version of Mary, which I didn't hate, honestly, because I was expecting her not to be in this. I'm talking about Angela and Laura. I wasn't expecting them to be even in this movie. And then in the trailers, they show both of them. I'm like, oh, they are in the movie. Okay, I wonder how they're going to do that, considering it's a pretty short movie, I think. And then they didn't really do it. They just made both Angela and Laura just versions of Mary, which I was like, okay, I guess. But I think how they did the reveal with Angela is not terrible. It reminded me a lot of the Dark Knight Rises. I don't know if you remember that towards the end with when it's revealed that his name is Robin. Emilio
was like, where are you going with that?
It was just he's like, oh, I like that name, Robin. I'm like, oh, okay. When she's like, what's our name? It's Mary, Angela, Laura. I was like,
it's like, remember my name. It's like the most long name ever for someone from America.
Yeah, exactly. She had like 14 different middle names. I thought her middle name's gonna be Eddie also because his ass disappears. But
it probably would have been like Edna or something like
that. Yeah, Edna. There you go. But we could do both here for both Angela and Laura. They're both completely inaccurate. Laura in the game is literally just a little girl that's in Silent Hill, and everything you experience in Silent Hill is through the eyes of James, like I said before. So whenever you see Laura, you're like, she's just roaming around with all these monsters. You realize that Laura doesn't see the monsters. Silent Hill conjures up just like things for only you to see. So all these characters, Angela, Eddie, as we see in this movie, and James, they all see different things because they all have their own backstories and they've done things that are either bad or very not okay, and they all see different things in Silent Hill. But Laura is just an innocent girl, and she's just there as like the girl that you chase to get like an item, you get a key or whatever, and she's like just being kind of like a shitty kid. She has a connection with Mary though, but for the most part, she's just a girl that you see, and you're trying to like protect her too because you're afraid she's go get killed by one of these creatures until you learn that she doesn't see any of them, and she's not affected by it. She just sees this town as a regular town. There's no like weird fog. There's nothing like that for her. That's only for the people that have done bad that are in that town. They see the weird shit. Okay. I know it's hard to explain.
I think you're doing a pretty good job considering my zero knowledge. So
and this movie would never know this is the case. You'd think, oh, the monsters are just a thing that's there and everybody sees them. But no, it's like for whoever is in there, they'll have their own little experience that so Laura's just a little girl in the game. Here she's a variant of Mary. She's the little girl version of Mary, and Angela's just I guess she's supposed to be like the teenage version of Mary.
Which is interesting that you're saying. That's one thing that kind of like confused me when people are like, oh, Angela's another version of Mary, because the film does kind of like, address that and be like, when she's near the end, when she's on the bed and it's Angela's character and she's dragged through the bed, like, but he calls her Mary. And then I believe that's what happened.
I think so. Sure. I saw it twice too, but now I'm starting to be like,
but
I don't remember
that. From what I can tell, to be fair, I did not stop and watch the credits, but according to IMDb, Angela is played by a different actress.
I thought that too. I heard it. Or I heard someone, or I saw someone say it on Twitter as well. But if you look in the credits, it does cast. It does a credit. I forgot her name. Hannah's Emily Anderson. I think that's it.
Oh, so it is her.
It is. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really they did a pretty good job with the makeup, because while I was watching even the second time, I was like looking at her. She's not in the movie a lot as Angela, to be fair. She has 3 scenes altogether. And I was looking at him like, is that the same actress? Because I was like, I didn't know, because the first time I watched it, I didn't like pause or anything to see the credits. So I was like, is that her? And it is her, but they did a good job of, they did a really good job when she's the Moth Mary too. I definitely couldn't tell that was her. That's the weird zombie version of her. You see, like, doing this shit. I
mean, that's surprising. I guess if you look at the eyes, you'd be like, yeah, it's the same actor. But
right.
It's dedication to go four characters in this film.
4 characters. Yeah.
So, and I would say only one of them seems like a cartoon.
So, yeah.
But all right, Eddie. Why?
Eddie.
Well, I do want to do a fast breakdown of the film as a whole, but why is he here? Like, why is he in Silent Hill? Is it the same thing? Is he also just like? Is he supposed to be an interpretation of James, or is he just a dude? What is he?
In this movie, that's what I was assuming, because like I don't know how they screwed this up. They just it almost feels like they just forgot about him. Like they're like, all right, here's Eddie. He ran away. I was like, all right, we'll see him again. Nope, you never see his ass again. All right, so the only scene we see Eddie, he's just a big guy, a big rotund feller. He's a big boy. So he's just vomiting in a toilet, which, to be fair, is exactly how we are introduced to Eddie in the game. He's vomiting in a toilet. In this one, it's because he's sick. Yeah. Eddie is a repulsive character in the game. I would like to bring that up. He's straight up a villain. He's mentally not well, and he has a horrifying backstory. Where he abuses animals, and he was bullied, so he ended up killing his bully and stuff and ran to Silent Hill. So he sees his own thing, and he just like keeps killing people while he's in Silent Hill. Every time you meet him, he's killed somebody else, which you're like, I didn't even know there was other people in this town. What the fuck? Like, he's just killing people you've never even met. So like, all right, Jesus. So that's the character, really. Yeah, and eventually you do fight him as a boss at the end of the game. But he's a simple character. He's just kind of unhinged, and he shows up, and he's kind of childlike, obviously, like I said, mentally unhinged. In this movie, he's a guy that shows up, and he's like, "Hey, Jimmy boy. Oh man, everyone got sick." And then he runs away, and that's his character. What I just said is his character. That's it. That's literally it.
My favorite. His delivery is so exaggerated. Like when he's just like, he says something like, what do you do? And he's like,
Yeah.
what? And he's like, out of here for a profession.
Yeah. What do you do? It was like, and then he said, I'm an artist. And then Eddie says, like, oh, an artist. I always want to be one. I always have messed up dreams. And that's the only indication that maybe he's a variant of James.
Yeah.
Well, besides
they also kind of like
really shitty
yeah,
the really shitty beard they tacked on to the actor at the end of this movie, which like the first time I watched it, I was like, is that a fake beard? And then the second time I watched it, I'm like, yeah, that's definitely a fake beard. Yeah, he looked like Gilly Mays.
On first watch, I feel like I just wasn't paying attention too much at that point. And then so I was just like, yeah. And then the second time I was like,
yeah, the whole time I was because I recorded my reaction to it, and I'll that will definitely get posted one day. And I'm just like, is that like my brain was breaking. I was like, is that why would they do a fake beard? Why do a beard at all? What's the point? I guess to show like he doesn't care about. Like he's only thinking about his art and Mary and stuff. So he's like,
he let himself go. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the common thing you do in a movie and any story is like he doesn't shave. That means he doesn't care about his physical appearance, but his hair is the exact same length. So
yeah, even though his hair is the same length and his facial hair is not like bushy, it's like full, like groomed.
They went to Spirit Halloween and got their best fake beard or whatever.
It's like, I wanted, like in Hot Fuzz, I wanted a big bushy beard.
Yeah, a great big bushy beard.
So that's what I wanted. Show some,
Yeah, bushy. It's like all messed up and matted. Pretty much what I look like after a month. They should have just contacted me. I would have told them exactly what. Yeah, you have to cut this part right here. There you go. Yeah, make it so that's not even at all. It's too much right here and not enough right here. There you go.
Yeah, you gotta make it just right.
Yeah, perfect. There you go. Now he looks disheveled. I know all about that.
Okay, so now that we've actually one more character that I completely forgot about. The therapist doesn't have a name, I don't think. Maybe does. I didn't catch it. But are they involved in the world of Silent Hill, the video game?
No. That is a completely new character. And I actually didn't mind that character. We'll get into it later. Not that the character was like strong or anything, but the whole idea behind her character, I didn't mind. And I guess we'll get to it later. One character I did want to bring up, I mentioned Maria a little bit. Maria is an extremely important character in the game because she's supposed to be the version of, because James had to deal with his wife being sick for 3 years. Because it's revealed later on that he's misremembering things. So he actually had to, for the last 3 years, he's been dealing with his wife being sick and stuff. Well, I feel like maybe I don't need to spoil that part. Maybe later I'll spoil. But anyway, so he's been dealing with this for 3 years. So he's just there by her side pretty much the entire time for the last 3 years and stuff. Silent Hill 2 has a lot of sexual like aspects to it. Like the nurses are sexualized. Even the other weird enemies, like there's like these mannequin leg creatures that are literally like 2 legs on top of 2 legs. So it's like that's what they are. And even the spitter guy you see in the beginning has like kind of like a womanly figure, let's say. Very sexualized stuff. In this movie, it has no place. It makes no sense why everything's like sexualized. There's even like the mannequin thing that Pyramid Head beats up at one point that is caked up. It's like, I was like, why? Like, it would make sense if there's a reveal in this where he's been sexually like repressed because he's dealing with his sick wife, and of course he wants to be faithful, but he's been dealing with it for 3 or so years. That is a big reveal in Silent Hill 2, the original, that he's just sexually repressed. So all these weird creatures that are being popped up in Silent Hill are imaginations of his brain that Silent Hill, the world itself, is using to fight him. It's very strange. It's very hard to explain this stuff without it sounding insane. But like Silent Hill itself is like, and the town itself is like a demonic entity that takes your I guess your imagination and creates things from it. So like, you want some sexy ladies? You've been in a hospital a lot for the last 3 years. Here's some creepy looking nurses you have to fight now who are sexualized. Oh, you like legs? Here's a bunch of legs you have to fight and stuff. That stuff is in the game for a reason. fan service, and also,
Mhm.
and also for the story reason. And this has no purpose whatsoever. So Maria is a big part of the game because of that.
Okay.
It's a sexualized version of his wife that he kind of wanted after the last 3 years. Like, oh, it's Mary, except she's a little more what would be a word, the promiscuous or whatever we want to say.
Yeah.
Sure, that's a nice way to say it. But she is that character in this movie, I guess. But like, again, there's no point because there's no reveal that James was like, I just wanted to be free, and like I wanted to be a young adult man again, go out and like do stuff, but I've been stuck here for 3 years. Like, James in the game is very like, it's supposed to be like he's for the most part he's a good dude, but he does I don't know. I shouldn't get into it yet. Yeah. So that whole sexual aspect is just no point of it being in here besides like, oh look, the creatures look like the game. I mean, that's it. That's like they look like the game creatures. Is there a reason why they look like the game creatures? It's because it's Silent Hill. That's it. That's the only reason. Yeah. So Maria is that character. She is completely misused in this. I think the second time I watched it, I realized, she's like completely misused because she shows up very late into the movie. Like, I think I'm maybe 45, 50 minutes into the movie. Yeah. And she acts like Maria. She's, she's a little bit more, I guess, forward, than Mary. She curses a lot, and I think she makes a couple of sexual references or whatever, but for the most part, she just looks like Mary. Even James doesn't bring this up. In the game, he immediately brings up that it looks like his wife. And this one, he doesn't say anything. Maria has to be like, come on, I look like your wife. Can you just bring it up once? He's like, oh yeah, I guess you do. And
then I look like your wife with a wig.
Yeah, with a really shitty looking wig on. But I was confused on why they did it the way they did it, because the game does it perfectly where she gets killed, but then she comes back, and you're like, what? I thought you died. And then she just comes back and is like, no, I'm fine. So she keeps coming back after being killed multiple times. And it's just like, what the hell's going on? Who is this? Why you look like my wife? Why you act all cryptic? Because she acts really cryptic and really weird, sometimes even like threatening. And then it's revealed that she is just a version of Mary that this town created to pretty much stop James from progressing, pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much her reveal, to the point where she's pretty much the main boss fight at the end. So here it's just not. She just gets killed at one point and she's gone, and that's it. Like, I don't need you anymore, Maria. I'm like, I don't think you needed her at all to begin with anyway. You barely even talk to her, and there's like no relationship there between you and this version of Mary. And then she disappears, and then we just move on. And then the other Mary reveals. I know I'm going on way too long with this stuff.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
So let's just do a quick rundown of kind of like the bullet points of what I remember from my watches, and then just kind of see how we feel about it. Me as just a horror moviegoer, and then you as much more involved in the gaming world. So the film begins, as you said, he's smoking, he's driving recklessly, and then he almost crashes, ultimately has a meet cute with Mary and him, where she kind of introduces to him, this is my home, this is Silent Hill, from afar, and she misses her bus because she was going away. And for whatever reason, because James is there now, she decides to not go with him to where he said over the pass. I'm going over the pass. I'm like, but so is that towards Silent Hill or like away? I'm like,
I have no idea. Hey, the second time watching it, that was very confusing when like she's just like, go on. I'm like, just close the because the bag keeps opening. I'm just close and get on the bus. Like, whatever. Like, what they should have did was make it
begin with.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess he ran over the thing, so it broke, I guess, but still, like, just bring it on just close it and bring it on. It's not like your clothes are everywhere and you can't do anything. It's right, whatever. Anyway, so maybe she saw James and was like, wait, hold on. Wait, hold on.
Wait, you're kind of attractive.
Ooh, wait, hold on.
I'll stay here in this city of hate.
This horrifying city where monsters are everywhere, and there's ritual cults and alleyways and stuff. I was like, all right.
So as you kind of said, Silent Hill, from this point, we kind of see that it's like from afar, it's beautiful. Like it's very like majestic looking, and you got the lake and everything. In the games, do we have, because you said they go on vacation, you have that idea that they have flashbacks of them going on vacation. Do you see it in this shape where it's all like nice and pristine?
You do. There's videotapes that James watches a couple times throughout the game, and you do see like almost like home videos of him and Mary together. And it looks like a normal place for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah, it like you don't see. I don't think you see any other people really. It's just usually them in like the hotel room or like whatever. But it looks like a normal place. It just seems like it was a normal town, and something happened, whether it be all in his mind, like in this movie or not, is up to interpretation more so than anything. But it seemed like a normal town for the most part.
Okay. And so then we basically have kind of like the first time in the movie that I'm like, okay, this dialogue's kind of weird, where there's a storm above and she says something like a summer storm in Silent Hill that's rare or something of that nature. And then it cuts to her under the water, which I think the underwater shot was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
But I think that kind of dialogue was odd.
It was, and I'm assuming that wasn't actually what happened during the moment. I think that's just supposed to be in because he wakes up from a nightmare, it seems like. So I'm assuming that part when the storm happens is the cutoff point for what actually happened, I would guess. You know, and that was just like, oh, now it's getting weird. It's the nightmare version of the meeting he had. And it's supposed to signal that because she didn't get on that bus and she didn't go on that bus, is that it's raining. That's a bad omen. She made the wrong choice. I guess that's what. That's.
I mean, that's a pretty good guess. I mean, I didn't have any idea. Does rain have something to do with this city? But I'm like, it's bringing the fog.
I can't even remember if there's any moment where rain even happens in Silent Hill 2. I don't think so. I mean, it gets dark. It's very, very dark at times. But I don't think rain.
So then he, as you said, Chris, he kind of awakens from kind of a nightmare, but he doesn't like awaken in his bed. He awakens in a bar, and he's like just drinking. Like it's very jarring that's where it's like he was having like, kind of like a daydream or
I guess he was so messed up. He got drunk and then knocked out right there. And and it's finishing up his drink, and the waitress comes over, is like, you gotta go, you're done. And then he's just like, okay, and he gets up and he stumbles on a table. The most overreaction ever, where a guy accidentally stumbles the table and the waitress goes, and then the bodyguards are like, get out of here. Yeah, he immediately said sorry too, like, oh, sorry. Like she's never been like bumped into somebody that's drunk before. Like I'm like, all right, calm down. And then we have like this weird POV shot, which I was like,
which I thought was cool. I brought that up in my interview because I was like, I wanted more of those shots, that only comes up one other time which I didn't remember when I asked him the question, but it comes up at the very end in the car. But I'm like, they should have done more of this hardcore Henry first person. I would have liked that.
It does happen another time, actually. It's when he's running away from all the monsters. And he's running, and you can see him like dodging stuff, and then it's like POV for like half the scene, and then it goes out, and then it's him like running away.
You're so right.
So it does happen, but it's like it's so jarring when it does that you forget that it already happened like 30 minutes earlier. It's like, oh, POV shot, and then you don't think about it already happening earlier. So it's not like this is like, all right, it's so sparingly done.
2 is a third-person game, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So I guess people would be upset because they made a hardcore Henry first-person perspective, but I would have liked that. So
I mean, that would be cool. I mean, if the entire movie was in a hardcore Henry perspective, it would be kind of sweet, actually. But I wouldn't even question why this third-person game is first-person in the movie. I'd be like, all right, it's cool.
Yeah, cool, I mean, it's all just for the effect.
Yeah,
but
a filmmaking aspect. We're in the eyes of James here. We're experiencing the nightmare world with all the CG around him, and I think they use the volume. You can kind of tell that there's some green screen or volume being used at times.
Yeah.
You can really feel it. You can feel the Silent Hillness. It's scary.
The coolness.
Yeah. It's terrifying.
So he gets kicked out, he gets thrown, and while he's in the bar, he misses a call from his therapist. The therapist immediately calls again, and he answers, being like, "You missed my appointment. Come in tomorrow." And he's like, "Sure, maybe, I don't know." So he goes home, paints. While he's painting, he gets a letter, as mentioned from the premise, which is from his lost love, or the love he left behind, which is Mary. Which, as you said, Chris, in the game, he already has that letter when you open in the game, right? So you don't get into that flashbacks. All of this bullshit is not in the game whatsoever.
Yeah. And one thing that actually annoyed me is that we'll probably bring it up again later, is that like in the game, the letter is actually not even real. Like, he had, because the entire game, he has this letter. It's in your inventory the entire game, so you go always look at it whenever you want. And then it's revealed what really happened with Mary. And then you look in your inventory and it's just completely blank. There's a paper, there's no letter at all. So it kind of annoyed me. And this is just like, I guess it was just a letter. Like there's no reveal later that there was no letter or anything. Also, they completely butchered the letter. The letter is nowhere near as iconic as it was in the game. Like it's also,
why do you think that is? Like, couldn't they have just lifted it directly from the game to here? Like, is there something in the game's letter that is so like distinct to the way that the game plays out versus this? Like,
I think it's because this one kind of refers to it as a home more so than just like our special place. Because this one does say our special place, but also like the reveal is that they actually live there, maybe. So James is way more familiar with this place. In the game, when you get the letter, it says go to our special place. You'd be like, I thought the whole town was our special place. What that, like, where do I go? Like, he doesn't know which place to go, so that's why you go through all these different levels or these different areas, because you have no idea which place is actually a special place. Here, I think maybe they just shortened it to make it seem like, all right, well, it's the apartment. You're just going to the apartment. That's their special place, I guess. And I mean, it was wrong, but still, say it's just like then we don't even refer to the letter ever again. Like go to our special place, and then he just never thinks like our special place. He just keeps wandering around, and he just gets teleported different places. Like literally at times he just he goes and then he wakes up and he's like, oh, I'm just in the water now, and which I guess makes sense when it's revealed later what's going on, but we'll talk about it.
To me, that when he had those moments, that was the most jarring, and what happened, and have to back up the movie and be like, wait a minute, what happened? I wasn't supposed to know.
Like whenever he gets triggered enough, I guess, one of his head things, he transforms the world into his, which is close. It's close to accurate to the game. Like he's conjuring these monsters up with his imagination, or his his messed up mentality right now. So that's close to the game. I'll give it that. But the monsters are still there even before he does that anyway. So I guess that kind of destroys that argument. It just turns the walls kind of yucky. That's usually it. Like the monsters are still there in this movie, even before he goes, oh, and then the world changes. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to say, honestly.
And so when he goes and returns back to, he takes that as the note as I gotta go back immediately, even though he's incredibly drunk. So he once again recklessly gets in his car, drives to Silent Hill, which is closed off for a mysterious reason. He finds a way down the path, which in my eyes, even on second viewing, the way he's walking is very stiff, and it feels very much, and even when he turns to the stair, it's like that. It's very weird. And it feels very video game-esque, but
he could have been directed to be walking like that, because that's kind of how you walk in the game. It's almost like a tank. They call it tank controls and stuff. So he could have been directed that way.
But it almost feels
maybe he was trying to watch his stuff, because he could have just fell down that, because he's actually going down a hill or whatever in that forest.
So be careful.
Be careful. We only have a $20 million budget. We can't add a couple 100,000 more because you injured yourself. We have to delay filming.
It's like we can't get another stump person in here with the same wig.
We're using the same wig for every character in this movie. Maria has the same wig, and Laura has the same wig, and Angela has the same wig. They just painted different colors.
That that would be resourceful. So he ultimately comes into the town where he enters the border of the town, which has Angela, where he meets. Who Angela is stacking sandbags to kind of hold back the lake water from what seems like coming to the cemetery. That's what it looks like. They don't really ever go into why she's doing this beyond that, like saving the cemetery. There's really nothing involving her character.
I'm going to assume maybe that's just something Mary had to do when she was younger, and she was kind of has this vision of Mary. She had to, I guess she was just reverting to that or something, or maybe it was even just trying to trick James just by having a character do something so he doesn't question why his wife is there and she looks like a ghoul. She looks like a Tim Burton character right now. She should be an Edward Scissorhands, but whatever. But I mean, to be fair, that scene is pretty accurate to the game, though. She's not stacking sandbags, but she is in the cemetery the first time we ever see her, and they have an awkward conversation where they have a similar conversation, kind of. She's in the game. She's looking for somebody else herself, but they do talk, and there is a weird little meet up there. So it's compared to other things, it's accurate enough where I'm like, all right, well, there you go. We're still good right now. Like while I'm watching a movie, I'm like, oh, we're doing good when it comes to accuracy. The place they found for that bathroom and the little like shot of like the town and stuff, that little area looks almost exactly like the shot from the game. I don't know how they found that place, but it looks exactly right. So I was like, all right, cool, damn, perfect. We're doing well. And then almost immediately after I was thinking that, it was like, all right, here we go.
And so she basically says, like, you're not going to find what you're looking for, but come back to me. My name's Angela. If you want to come back to me, I guess, or if you need any help, just like come back to me if you want to. But which I thought was weird dialogue. That's just kind of littered throughout. The dialogue is iffy, but he enters the city, which is very much, I guess, in the cemetery as well. It's there's ash coming from the sky, which they kind of state was because a fire broke out. Is that correct? Fire broke out across the city.
And I guess that's just a Christoph Gans thing, because that's not in the game, but that's in the first movie. Like that's why there's like it's so like foggy and stuff, is because the ash and stuff. That's a thing in the first movie, so he kept that, which is fine. I don't that doesn't bother me, but I don't think there was ever a fire in Silent Hill. I think it's just foggy because it's creepy. Honestly, it's foggy because the PS1 couldn't handle open areas like that, because you would have to cover it up so the game doesn't freeze because they couldn't handle it. That's the only reason why things are foggy in the first game, is because it's like if we didn't have the fog, this game wouldn't run on the PS1. So put fog, and then it just ended up being like a staple with the game and working out.
Like it's effective. Let's keep it.
Yeah. Limitations make things scary sometimes, though.
But going into the town, it's abandoned. There's a big gate. We see some like rotten meat and some very like rundown businesses, and there's a quarantine gate, which of course he just kind of ignores.
Yeah, he's just like, I mean, most of the time, whenever James is walking around the town, he has this face.
He's like, oh, what's happening here?
To be fair, that's an accurate face. I'd probably be like, too. It's like almost the entire time. Like, huh? Like, you always see the homeless dude later. He's like, anyway.
And he hears a mysterious kind of radio, which I am curious if the radio comes into play in the game or something of that nature, where when creatures are around, it does have kind of like an interference. Is that factual?
That's 100% accurate. One of the few things they nail is like whenever there's an enemy nearby, your radio will go off. It's your way to know that enemies are approaching, I guess. In both the remake and the original, that is the case. You can even turn it off in the game if you want to make it harder for yourself.
Well, that seems like not a good option.
No. I think there might be enemies where if you turn it off, it might make it easier. I can't remember exactly, but they did nail that. He even says it to Maria at one point. It was like, this thing lights up and makes noises, and then it kind of like disappears later on in the movie. He doesn't really use it that much after that, But it was cool that they had it there. I like that. So, and even the place he gets the hand radio is the same place. There's no homeless guy in the original game.
But it's a tunnel.
But it was in a tunnel, yeah. So that was nice.
Was it it's something that in the game it was kind of like it led you to it, or is it just something you came across?
It did it smart where it's not like there's a big arrow saying you have to go this way, but like you hear the radio. There's like almost no like there's audio, but it's like all like almost environmental audio. But then you hear this really loud radio, so you're immediately drawn to there. So it's good environmental like it uses the environment very well in the game to lead you where you need to go without again having a big Vegas sign pointing at it like most games nowadays, or it's just like here's the yellow paint or whatever, like go this way, like even the remake does a good job of that too. Like they change it up, it's in a house this time in the remake, not in a tunnel, but they do a good job in both. And this they did a good job too. He's just like he runs by, he hears the radio, he's like, what the hell's that? And he's like, hey buddy, you okay? There's some random homeless guy there, which I guess was also an imagination.
Which has like a millipede running down his face, so it makes me think he's like a zombie guy or something.
Yeah. Which makes me think like, wait, okay, so there's creatures here, and you're just sleeping in the outside, dude. There's all these buildings you could be sleeping in. Why are you like
Eddie's up there? I mean, he's not at home.
Yeah, there's plenty of places you could just like chill out in. Like the whole town's abandoned, no one's here, and you're still outside, like.
Yeah, that seems like a dumb decision.
Yeah. I would have been out of this place if there was creatures everywhere.
And so the homeless man that we are talking about, basically he goes to confront the first human-like being that he sees, and he puts his hand on him, and he turns around because of a noise from the radio, and then the homeless man kind of attacks him, sorta, and just tells him like basically. It's basically just a not a rhyme. I'm trying to think of what the it's a riddle, kind of like a riddle thing.
And which is probably the closest we get to a puzzle in this game. But he says something. I honestly don't even remember what he says.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely came out like it was something that maybe it's a puzzle, as you said, or something, but it's just like this James isn't going to take time to remember what he just said. So let's move on.
Especially what happens right after. He leaves, comes back, that guy's goo on the ground. It's like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, I'm like the guy is like safe enough in the depths of the tunnel, and then he's just like, I'm going to follow James.
He's like doing this stuff. It's very confusing. This movie has so many confusing moments. Like if you didn't play the game at all and you don't have any, like if you're just a random person, you're like, I know what Silent Hill is. I see a movie once every 5 years. Let me go see this movie. You'll be like, what the hell is going on? But
there's definitely moments like that definitely I was just like, that was cool, but I don't know why.
I mean, it gets way more confusing than that homeless guy that gets spit with acid.
That's very true. And so this is kind of like our basically James is lured over to kind of like a nightclub type location. Is that in the game? It is. Okay.
And we go in there and that's where we like have an interaction with Maria, and she's being seductive towards James, and James is like trying to be faithful even though he thinks this might be his wife. He's not too sure and stuff, but also it's kind of revealed in that part of the game, at least in the remake, that he was an alcoholic at one point, which this game does make clear he is an alcoholic. So but because he like Maria's offering a beer in the remake, and he's like kind of shaking a little bit, so you can tell he wants one, but he has to be good. But so like that Heavens, I think it's called Heavens, I forgot what it's called, Heavens, Seventh Heaven, something like that.
It's apparently like a big prominent thing, because I saw the released steelbook for this movie that's going to come out, and the back cover is him in front of it. So I'm like, it had to be something iconic, I guess.
It is. They even on the Konami store, the people that make the game, you could buy like the sign. You could just buy that, the light up like neon sign. I mean, it is iconic. It's like a bar / strip club, I think it's supposed to be. I can't remember exactly, but it's iconic in the games, and they put it in here as more of an Easter egg than anything else. Which is fine. We have to get through this story. I understand we can't spend 5 minutes in a bar, but it would have been nice to have 5 minutes in a bar to have like character growth, but
Well, I mean, we do kind of spend 5 minutes in the bar because immediately that's
true,
when we
yeah.
get our first flashback, which
That's true, yeah.
where we introduce the idea of these weird kind of like people that are surrounding Mary, and it's like their first meeting of. It's kind of like a family meeting, like the boyfriend for the first time, being like, "Hey,
Yeah.
this is James,"
There he
and
is.
they make a comment about Mary's dad, and then they're like, "Oh, you knew him?" And they're like, "Of course we did,"
Yeah, we loved him. What was his
and
name again? Did he have like a weird
oh,
like cult name,
I
like
don't.
Jebediah somewhere?
It was probably something
It's
like
probably
that.
Jebediah. I don't even know. Her last name's Crane in this, which by the way is also not accurate in the
Oh,
in the game. Her last name's Shepherd, so which is also a very cult name. So I don't know why they didn't just
yeah,
keep that.
yeah.
But
No,
whatever.
I mean, maybe changing the names just be like, well, see, it's not actually the person from the game. So,
Yeah, there you go.
but
Well,
but
they wouldn't be wrong by saying that, considering how inaccurate all this stuff is. But sure,
yeah,
yeah,
and so we got the first cult kind of reveal. It's not fully revealed till later, but you get the idea that these people are weird and they really her father saved them and whatnot.
yeah.
And then it kind of dives back out from that flashback when we hear a scream from outside. He runs out, and as Chris stated, the guy that we saw in the tunnel is now goo.
He's melted, which is probably the most violent thing in the entire movie. I would say is like that scene where you see his face just. It was a good effect, actually. I'll give him
Yeah.
that. Like it was obviously CG, but it looked pretty good. Like his face is just melting and stuff. I was like, oh shit. All right.
Yeah, no, it was good effect, and that's where we get introduced to our first creature, which are called lying figures, correct?
Yes.
Which is there a reason why they're called that? Because they're not lying down at any time.
No. Well, they do in the game. And
Oh, okay.
they in the game, once you hit them like once or twice, they fall on the ground and they just start shuffling towards you. And
Oh,
immediately when any creature starts shuffling towards you in a game, you immediately go, ah! And so like that's pretty much the entire time they just like shuffle around. I don't know if they're
oh,
called lying figures because they actually just I don't know what word it means, like lying like on the ground or lying like they're liars. I can't remember
okay.
the symbolism between for them besides the obvious sexual nature of it. I can't
Yeah, because
remember
to
because
be
they have like the
real,
hands like strapped to their backs, like
yeah,
almost like
they're
they're like
very like BDSM, like strapped
yeah,
down, and
yeah,
then it's very much like it's very phallic or not phallic, but very vagina esque,
yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah. So
Oh, I'm trying to remember what's the phallic version of
yeah,
female is.
so
Yeah,
that's right.
there's a word, and I'm like, what is it like yonic or something? Isn't it like I swear there's
it's
a word. All right.
it's not used enough because I don't
Yeah,
know
I don't know
it.
either.
But so we get kind of like our first bit of the CGI might not be as good as it's been so far at
Sure,
this
yeah.
moment when all those lying figures are revealed when a siren goes off and James
Mhm.
does, as Chris has mentioned a few times, he holds his head and he goes ah
Ah,
and it's revealed there's a ton of these lying figures all around him,
yeah.
and they are just spitting acid as he basically runs frantically through to pretty much nowhere. He's just trying to escape and stumbles. He comes across these kind of like weird bug
Like
creature
bug,
things
which
that
are also in the game. To be fair, there's
okay.
like these little bugs. There's never a giant horde of them, but there are the bugs with the little weird faces and stuff. So
I would
that's
imagine in
accurate.
the game, like I don't know if you ever played oh, shoot, what's that name? Stray, the cat
Oh yeah,
game.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's like where the
yeah,
cat's
yeah,
running from like the rat. It's
yeah.
I think there's bugs like that. They're like trying to like kill the cat. But
Yeah,
maybe
yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah. Bugs or swarm of things. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
yeah,
what you're talking
so
about.
kind of similar to that. And like I imagine in a video game like this where you got to run, it's like and you can't really look back because that's going to hold you back.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
bit of
exactly.
tension building. But
Yep.
okay, so those are there, but this is not an actual factual moment in the game. It's just something that he wanted to put in, be like, see, two
Yeah.
creatures in the timeline of 5 minutes.
Yeah,
So
there's a part where you have to run and get the hell out of there, but there's just a bunch of lying figures trying to get you, more so than the
okay,
bugs. Like there's a part where you have to run to the apartment, so that is, I guess, accurate. But like the bugs, that I mean, he just wanted a big CG bug pile. I think he's just like, I need a big bug pile. It's
yeah.
chasing
So
James.
So they can just ram themselves into the door, and you get a weird close up of the bug face.
Yeah, it was really weird when he killed one of them, and we get the close up of the bug, and it's like dead. Like I was like, all right, that makes him scary, like a fucking a cartoon character. Yeah. One part I thought was really funny is when he's running away from the bugs, and he gets to a fence, and he almost acts like he doesn't know what a fence is. He's like, oh, just climb
you can just climb over.
Just climb it, bro. Like, come on, man. You're like what, like 150 pounds? Just climb up it. It's like this big, this fence. Just climb up it.
I know, yeah, and yeah, it's one of those moments in the film where it's just like, okay, like is this fence really a fence, or is it a deeper meaning where he can't find a way through it?
Yeah. But I mean, when you make something stupid, I guess you could just say there's a deeper meaning and then not explain it at all.
You know what? That's valid.
It's a mental barrier or something. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Bugs are like
bugs are scary.
Yeah, the bugs are scary.
And so he finds refuge in kind of like, is this the apartment building
he goes into?
Yeah. Which is the first time that, not knowing as someone that's not a fan of the games, not knowing that, this might all be in his psyche, I was just like, this is very convenient that he would run directly to the apartment, and then he has kind of like a vision of kind of like a zombie type creature up on the staircase calling his name. He goes up and finds this is actually one of the things that I'm kind of confused about, even on second watch. He goes up there, and it seems like he's going into their apartment, like the bed, and there's like the TV with the videos, which I think the videos they kind of say is involved the cult stuff. We'll get into that, but he then goes into the balcony, and like climbs over to another apartment.
I couldn't remember. Like I remember watching. I remember watching it the second time, and I was just like, why did he do that again? I didn't go back. I sure went back to see like if maybe like a staircase.
And I think he climbs up because I think because when it pans out, like there's like that, like, to be fair, it's a really like scary image of like this kind of like moth covered like person in like the reflection of the light. And so he climbs up there, even though it's his same apartment. I don't know. Eddie's there, but when he goes in there, it's revealed that the moth person is not actually a person.
It's a mannequin.
It's a mannequin, and then we see
which is in the game.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's a mannequin. You find with Mary's clothes on it, which they don't really explain why that was the case in this.
What's the case in the game? Why do they find a mannequin?
Well, to be fair, there is no case in the game either. But like, it's just like it's like a thing. Well, I guess there is, because there's a bunch of mannequin enemies you fight. So I guess you could like make the excuse that that it's supposed to be like a nurse symbolism thing, like Mary's kind of like these mannequin things you're fighting, and here's a mannequin with her clothes on it and stuff. It's also, you can just say the town's fucking with you. It's also a video game, so it's just like, all right, we have to have like some images that'll creep you out. We don't need to explain it, you know.
That's valid. And I will say, I feel like maybe I wasn't paying too close attention to Mary's wardrobe, but it feels like she had one dress.
So just generic, like little like coat thing, and then
it's like where they met, and then she had some outfit, and then after that it's just like the dress.
It felt like when they met, that was the same day they also moved to Silent Hill. It's like there was like no time in between. I guess that's another thing I should address, is that in the game they make it very clear, or if you read the lore, they make it clear. If you look at the lore, it's you find out that they were college sweethearts. So they didn't meet, like,
they didn't have a meet cute by almost killing her.
Yeah. And it wasn't like a year later that they moved together. You know, they've been together for a long time. And also, they're only boyfriend and girlfriend in this. In the game, they're married. So technically, her name is Mary Shepard Sunderland. I think that's the full name, because she took her name and his. I guess you could do that.
Yeah.
But in this one, having it so that they're not married actually makes it worse, because it's just like he's going through all this hell for someone who he loves, but he, one, broke up with because of a cult thing, and two, they're not married, and that means they probably haven't known each other as long as in the game, because in the game they've known each other for at least 10 years. So
I feel like I could be pulling this out of my ass, but I feel like at some point they say it's been like 9 months.
Oh, did they? I don't even remember.
I feel like it's something like not that long. Like, I feel like,
damn.
So Yeah, but I might be pulling that out of my ass. It's just popped into my brain. But
Well,
I feel like they're not married because they did not want to have another name on that dumb tombstone.
Oh yeah. A fifth name. Her name was Mary Angela Laura Crane Sutherland. It's like, oh my god, Jesus, we need to get a bigger stone. Or a smaller font.
Smaller font. I'm like, the font's so big. It's like it didn't even say when she died on it. It's just like her name.
We couldn't fit it. She has too many names. It couldn't fit when she died. Get the magnifying glass out to find out who this is later.
And so from there we get yet another flashback. This is much more like very like distinct, like or abrupt, and be like, hey, there is a cult. This is a cult film like in her life. Because we see that there's it's basically like a sculpture head of her dead father, and it opens up for some reason. I don't know what is inside of it. That doesn't really make sense why it
There's
opens.
like a symbol. I think that's the same symbol from another game or something. I don't remember the like there's one symbol called like the Metatron or something like that. I don't remember. Like this is the thing, like the lore of Silent Hill 2 I love, but it's more so the character stuff, not really any cult aspect. So like Silent Hill 1 and 3 deal with cult stuff way more than I think 2 maybe references a cult, and that's about it. So
so we James in the flashback is just coming home from wherever, and he has groceries, and this is another moment in the film where I'm like, how the fuck did you not hear him? He comes in and goes,
he's right there.
Or he goes,
hello. The door's not even open, closed all the way. It's like
to me, it's like anytime that a character does that, and it's so monotone too. It's just like I don't remember he says honey or Mary, but he's like Mary, and it's like reminds me of like in Heavy Rain, just like in the abundance of people like Jason.
Exactly. Everybody here in the mall. There's no way your son in here. He's just choosing not to find look. Sean.
And there he goes, and after that loud introduction creeps up on them. They're having a meeting, they're whispering. It's not even like they're partying and whatnot. There's no music or anything. They would have heard him, and they're like, love is a dangerous thing. It sucks you in. You gotta stay focused on whatever the hell we're doing.
Shit. They're just like so stay focused on our mission. We gotta have to put blood on you and pretend to eat you or some shit.
Normal cult things.
Normal cult things.
and normal like fashion and horror films or thrillers where someone's meeting and they're not supposed to be there. There's a little crack, and they're like, all look at them. They're like, oh, the man of the house is here. The lights come on, and they all walk out, and they have a fight. And that's the end of that flashback. We go back
100%. James, I'm jumping ahead a little bit. James is 100% correct by leaving. So I just want to say we'll get to it later, though.
I'm going to go ahead and say valid.
I'm like, I'd be out after that interaction. Then later on with the thing we keep referencing, where they're like devouring her or whatever, I'll be like, fuck this, I'm leaving. It's done. You can come with me if you want. If not, deuces. See it.
Peace. And so he hears someone vomiting. We kind of covered this earlier when we were talking about the characters. Eddie's in there. He's vomiting. He's infected. He has some of the worst delivery of all the characters, and where he's like, you're not infected. He's like, we're all infected or something dumb. And he shows his wounds, and ultimately they have their little back and forth where they get to know each other. He says a little bit about Silent Hill and people being infected, and there's things running around, and then they make their escape out of the room to I guess he joins them just to join them. They don't really explain why he's joining them.
He's just following them for a second. They hear her crying. He's like, do you hear that? And Eddie is like, no, I don't hear anything. And then you find out there's a girl there and Eddie could see
in the
him.
wall.
Like,
Yeah,
but Eddie could see her. So like, how the fuck did you not hear the crying then? like you said, like I don't hear anything, Jim.
Well,
Boy,
I think at that moment it's like he didn't want to do any interruptions. He wanted to get out. And it's it's just like I'm good. So
that makes sense.
And it kind of, and what I've heard from people is that have played the game is that Eddie, as you said, is a villain, but isn't he led to villainy because he was bullied when he was younger?
He was bullied, but like we don't really see that. So the only thing we really see in the game, like he talks about being bullied and he killed the bully and he also killed a dog. Like if at first he killed a dog, he abused the dog and then killed the dog, and then that worked him his way up to killing his bully, and then he ran to Silent Hill for whatever reason. I guess it's just because it's an abandoned town, so you can just hide here. And then along the journey, he's killing other people and stuff, like actual people. You'll just see like dead bodies, like of people.
Okay, so he's not a Silent Hill like resident, like he's not from there.
No. They like I don't think anybody has ever lived at Silent Hill at this point. I think like every character you've ever like introduced to in the Silent Hill games are like, yeah, I don't know, I'm just here. Like, did anybody ever live in this fucking place? It's
like a purgatory, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what Silent Hill is. Like, it's a real town. People know of it. I think it's supposed to be in like, I can't remember what state. It's supposed to be in an actual state. It
seems like Wyoming or Colorado.
Yeah, I think it's Wyoming. I think you're right. It might even say that on the Wikipedia or the wiki.
It's probably on those postcards they've been giving out.
Oh yeah. I didn't go to theaters, so I didn't get one, sadly. you
would have put it on the wall behind you, man.
Yeah, it would have been probably right here, there, here. Sad day. Maybe I have to go buy one on eBay.
Who knows? Maybe Cineverse will send you one. For one of their few glowing reviews of the film.
There you go. So it's not that bad. 6 out of 10.
Yeah, it's better than the 0.5 out of 4.
Oh yeah, dude. People really hate this movie. I mean, I'll say this: cinematography wise, even some of the effects and some of the acting is enough for me not to say it's what would that translate to, like a 1.5 out of 10 or something like that? What would that be, like a 1?
Just because the effects are good.
I was saying cinematography. I thought the cinematography was pretty good in this. Actually.
Well, the cinematography is good. I would say, I mean, if you can't get down with the characters or the plot, and then the only thing that's good is the middle of the road effects, and then the cinematography and set design, I would say like at max, like if that's all you get out of it,
like
maybe
a 3 out of 10, maybe.
Well, I was gonna say a 5 at max, but maybe
max.
Yeah. But maybe I'm kind of, but then again, I'm coming at it like I can get from people that are like yourself that are more into the games or are more aggravated at this film, and that's why they're giving it so low. But I think from like a quality perspective, like even like one of my friends from here in Ohio, that like I saw their review and they give it such a negative score, and they don't play video games at all, and they're just like, I think their poll quote was is this a movie? Because it does not feel like a movie or something like that.
It's so hard for me to separate the game from this. Like while I was watching, I'm like, it's competently done at times, but it's also like I have such a crutch because I know the story of the game. So when they're explaining these things and showing these things, I'm like, it's kind of like the game. I understand where this is going because I played the game, but if you have no idea, I wish I could erase the game from my brain just for one day so I can watch this movie again and be like and see if I understand anything that's happening. Like,
were you equally kind of I guess maybe going into this film, not the one we're talking about, but the film I'm about to bring up, you kind of had the knowledge that it wasn't going to be an adaptation directly, but were you also kind of like pissed off of like Until Dawn? Like where that
I didn't even see Until Dawn, but I watched the trailers and I watched people talk about it. I think Until Dawn, the game is fun, but it's not like one of those games where I'm like, this is a story that's like the reason why I play games. You know what I mean? Like Silent Hill 2 is legitimately one of the best stories in video games, period. So that's also kind of a shame that we get like a low budget, like kind of, I don't want to say slapdash. It doesn't feel slapdash, but it feels like almost amateurish way to retell that story with this movie. which I don't expect. I didn't expect from Christoph Gans because like I love Brotherhood of the Wolf. That's another movie he did. That movie's great, and it has a really good story with great characters. That was I think his first movie. I want to say it was his first movie, and that was such a great like return. And I could be wrong. I think he wrote it too. I would have to look.
I'm not sure. I believe every film he's done, he either wrote entirely or co-wrote.
Yeah. I think
so.
He
Like
co-wrote
this film,
this
he
one,
co-wrote.
Right?
Yes. Yes. So.
It feels like there's a lot taken out of the movie. Like they filmed another 30 minutes that's just not in the movie now. They had to cut it out for whatever reason. Maybe distributors were like, you got to shorten it up, bro. It's a horror movie, 90 minutes. I was like, all right. Well,
it's very possible.
Terrifier 2 could be 2.5 hours long, but I guess Silent Hill fucking 2K.
but even with Terrifier 3, they're like, you got to shorten it up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 hours and 10 minutes. We'll give you that.
Which I mean, to its benefit, apparently it worked really well since it made $100 million against like a $2 million budget. So.
Yeah, and it was fun. I'll say this: the Terrifier movies are better than this movie, that's for sure. But
I have more fun with them, but that's because of the fact that you have such an iconic character, and there's not, and that's I guess more so an iconic villainous character. And here, really, the only me going into this blind, like, and having seen very minimal of the other ones, it was definitely like Pyramid Head was the only thing, and I knew the nurses vaguely, but I didn't know like their whole motive and whatnot. But as far as Pyramid Head, I knew that design because you see people like that at cons all the time.
I mean, it's an awesome design. Like even if you like you don't find it scary, at least you go like that's really striking. Like it's just like it's either they go full shirtless, which is from the first movie. He usually has like a thing on, like a little like almost like a wife beater usually, or he he's just completely shirtless with the pyramid thing on, and he has a big ass blade and stuff. It's a striking design, whether you think it's scary or just like cool or whatever. Like most people think Pyramid Head is cool more so than scary. Until you play the game, and then he's like he's stalking you like at parts, and then you're like, oh no. You're like, ooh, no. But all
right, let's drift back into the story. The story is we've gotten past a majority of the big bullet points, and then it just kind of gets confusing from here on out.
Yeah, so we had the flashback with the cult again, where they're
and then we meet Eddie, and then the little girl in the hallway, and then Eddie and him. The reason why I brought up if he was a bully is because he does beat the shit out of James for calling him an asshole.
Yeah, that does happen in the game. He doesn't beat him up, but if you like insult Eddie, he goes fucking kind of crazy a little bit. I guess that's in there, but like. I can't give them credit for just like any person would probably be upset if someone got called an asshole. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know you, dude.
Yeah,
it's like all I've done is throw up and talk to you.
yeah. They did have like there was like a almost like a they've known each other for a little while at that point. Like he's like, we gotta go, Jimbo. I'm like, we literally. Or Jimmy Boy, or whatever he said.
Jimbo, gave him a nickname.
But it was just like, come on. I literally met you 45 seconds ago. Talk to me. Like
I met you around the corner, actually.
Yeah. At hour 3, you can start giving me nicknames. We're not even at minute 2.
So Eddie scares the little girl away, and there's more of the interference type noise that causes him to have a freak out, have James have a freak out, and Eddie then beats the shit out of James, runs away, and Finn on Eddie's storyline. No more of that.
Yeah, he had to go back to his home planet.
So why introduce him at all? Who knows?
They should just cut him out of the movie, honestly. Yeah. Maybe you said his acting wasn't very good. Maybe Christoph Gans was just like,
we don't have time to recast. Scratch.
He died off screen or so. I don't know. Maybe that's why they put the beard on James, so people could be like, put the fake beard on, so they think maybe he's Eddie or something.
Talking about the Terrifier a minute ago, it's like just like the ripped off
the Santa beard. Yeah, exactly. That looked more realistic though. Fake beard in this.
So this is our first encounter with Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head, I did not mention that there is a restriction that causes him not to get to the girl. There's a gate randomly positioned there, which
that's in the game.
No reason why. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
is there a reason why? Because it's an apartment building. Why is there a prison gate?
No, there's no reason. That one I can't explain really. There's the first time you see Pyramid Head, you're actually trying to reach for a key, and Laura, the little girl, is acting like an asshole and kicks it away, and she's like, aha, and then runs away. And then Pyramid Head shows up, and you're like, oh no, and you have to skedaddle. So and then hide in a closet, which is what happens here. But
got it. Let's just jump to that. Pyramid Head ends up breaking through the gate, chasing after James, but not until James runs into a room with a bathtub where there is a corpse of his possible wife, who then basically her head just completely falls off, rolls towards him, and then the eyes blink or something.
Like at him or something like that.
Yeah, and he freaks out. The body comes out of the tub, and it kind of forms into a spider-like creature where it goes backwards and its ass is just completely in the air. And as Chris said, caked up.
This is like I don't know what was like. There's a big sexual component in Silent Hill 2, but this one doesn't really make sense why everything is still sexualized. And then this thing doesn't even exist in the game. There's a mannequin thing, but not this one, not this thing. So it looks completely different. And then this thing just shows up as just like, all right, it jiggles and everything. they make sure to show that later when they have like that scuffle with Pyramid Head. So.
He shoved the creature on the ground. It's full on jiggling all around.
It was hard not to notice too.
To be fair, we didn't notice for other reasons. And
exactly.
And so he basically hides in the closet, as you said, and Pyramid Head and the spider creature thing is following after him, and they have a confrontation where he is hiding all freaked out in the closet. His eyes get all big, and he just basically, I saw several reviews, like I watched Angry Joe Show's review where they talked about it, and he suggests that it's the spider creature is beaten to a pulp. And I think it's just kind of like,
He's just like, it's funny because he has a big ass sword and he's like, I don't need this shit. He just puts it down. Boom, boom, boom. But, again, kind of similar to the game. There is a part the first time James sees Pyramid Head, he has one of the regular mannequin enemies, and he's like pushing it on the table. And there's another kind of sexualized thing it's very vague, but it's also like, what is Pyramid Head doing to this? Because he's not punching it, he's like grabbing it and moving around. So, and they're not showing you a lot of it, so it's like it's very weird. Here it's very explicit. He's just like, Pyramid Head's like had enough of this shit, and he just starts beating the hell out of it. Which, all right, fair enough. All right,
WWE beatdown.
Which was it was a cool scene, I guess. He's just like, all right.
I think it could have, as you said, he has the big sword. It could have been even like he's so much bigger than that creature. And there's like you had stated, there is really the most gruesome scene is the face like falling apart at the beginning with the black goo. There's not really like bloody scenes in this film.
No, not really.
As far as I remember, and it's rated R. So it's like you could have had it be bloody. And,
it's not much cursing either, too. Like.
No, not. I mean, like you said, Maria curses a little bit,
a couple times.
But there's not like a ton of cursing, and I think James curses in their final fight. So he basically has another freak out with the siren noise where he holds his head, and Pyramid Head also has the exact same thing, and they have an awkward moment. They're like, together.
They're in sync together, which is like, I already know the twist behind Pyramid Head, so I'm just like, you don't need to give people more of a hint of what the hell's going on with Pyramid Head, because they even do like a close-up of the hole that's in Pyramid Head's pyramid thing. And you can see like it looks like a kind of normal face. It's like, what? And I'm like, come on. It's like you don't know that until the end of the game, is that like the Pyramid Head's actually really James in some film. So again, I'm kind of spoiling too much of the game. No, I was gonna say I'm spoiling too much of the game. I feel like you should still play the game.
No, you should play the game, but I feel like if you're watching this, you've probably played the game. You're probably not in my boat. You're probably more in your boat, Chris, where you played it, or watch cutscenes and so forth.
Yeah, I would highly recommend watching cutscenes if you don't want to play the game, because the game is terrifying. Like it really is. Like it has such a oppressive atmosphere almost the entire time, and it never lets really go, and it just gets worse and worse. There's times where it just gets like you really do feel like you're just descending into hell at times, and there's even times where you are literally descending deeper and deeper into pretty much hell at times. It's a fun time. Go play it.
I mean, it doesn't sound fun to me, but to each their own. So from here, I to be 100% honest, I don't remember if when that occurs, if he blacks out and wakes up and then goes out of the closet, or if there's a flashback here. Is this where he sees the cult thing?
I think so, because I think I feel like, that's you know what? Let's just say yes.
Okay, so this is where the flashback occurs, and he is just out on the town, and the Silent Hill is a lively place. There's people all around. Did this
feel like a reshoot to you? I'm sorry, I have to bring it up because, like, doesn't he look so different in the shot? There's a shot where his hair is different and stuff. It's not long. He looked like a different actor. I'm like, who the hell is? Oh, that's
it feels like definitely a reshoot. It feels like this scene was tacked on, and they're like at the last minute. It feels like they had another like kind of like visual representation of the cult, and then they're like, that's not going to work, so they reshot this, and it's very debatable if whatever you shot before would have worked better than this. But he's a very lively town setting. He sees his girlfriend across the street being kind of dragged around by the cult people that she's involved with, that he meets at the bar or nightclub. And they drag her to an alleyway. He follows her to the alleyway, and this is where logic goes out the window if it's not already. And because this is real life, this is not like in his mind. This happened.
This is a flashback.
It makes no sense because because the gate is clear, and of course, like he rips the gate far enough he could climb by. Like, how did they do that? Like for all those people and not make any noise, and then he like has to walk like very cautiously to like through another gate, and then there's a dumpster that is perfectly on top of a thing. Which who put it back?
Maybe there's no entrance. I don't know.
Maybe if you open the dumpster up, there's like an entrance through the dumpster. Quite easy. Like push.
Maybe it's a remote control dumpster, and when they go down there, you just like control it and it goes right back on top. That's probably in the budget for a cult. It's a remote control dumpster.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm sure they're devil lord or whoever the fuck they do rituals for. They don't really get into that. I'm sure they have the budget for some remote control dumpsters.
They gotta put some of that's the city fund towards the cult. And so I will say I do remember. Unfortunately, maybe later on I'll remember where this plays out, but we're just going to play out this whole flashback. But I remember he goes down through the thing, it cuts off, and it cuts to him coming out of the closet. However, don't remember when it goes back, so we're going to keep going. He climbs down into where a ritual is taking place. Mary is the basically centerpiece of this. There is like a vial of some kind of red gunk that she is forced to swallow. I don't know if it's
evil essence or so.
Essence
of evil or something.
Which I feel like it would have been better. I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe having it be like black goo, kind of representing the goo that's coming out of the creatures, might have been better or something. But probably they chose red, and then she's kind of like lifted up into the crowd, and James. Same as the other situation where he says Mary, he's like no. He's perfectly yelling. No one knows he's there. They don't try to push him out of the town from witnessing this.
I guess they're chill with him. Like, oh, James is there.
They're like, James is here. What's he gonna do?
What's he gonna do? Scream like he usually does. He's screaming like this, or he's screaming like this.
Exactly. And we witness her basically crowd surf and then get dipped down, and then she's covered in this red type blood, which or it might be the same gunk she swallowed. I don't know.
I couldn't tell if that was supposed to be because they introduced she has nosebleeds, so I thought maybe oh, maybe she was bleeding from the nose and it just kept bleeding and they're spreading all over her or something.
If it was better shot, maybe.
Yeah, because it's very all right. There's a lot of weird shit in the Silent Hill games, so this actually kind of fits a little bit with the cult aspect because there's always like really weird. This is the thing: the Silent Hill games are very strange at times, and you have to really like kind of go with the flow sometimes because it's like some of the voice acting is very stilted and stuff, and a lot of the animations are a little awkward. So it's just like they're older games, so like this, which is very weird and very not explained at all. I guess kind of fits, but it doesn't really work for this movie because this movie's pretty sanitized compared to the games. So it's just weird. It's just weird that it keeps cutting away. It cuts back. Now she's covered in blood. She's really into it, even though later on she seems like she's not into it. You know what I mean? It's like, they're my family. I'm like, and then she says later on, it's like, they were destroying my life and stuff. I'm like, yeah. You seem like you liked it before, like you're like this like weird ritual thing. I thought she was into it, and then it's revealed later that no, she's not into it. I was like, all right, I don't know, it's weird. It's very jarring, her character at times, I will say, but
completely agree. She's definitely like moaning and stuff during it, which and having kind of like a so I apologize if I kind of froze there. My screen went black, but I could still hear you. So
okay,
so. Basically, from there on out, he basically once again don't know when this flashback comes in, so we're gonna continue.
I think it was. I think it was there, and then he woke up, and this is where he meets Laura again, I believe.
This is where he.
Go ahead.
So he walks out of. I believe where the first cut is before he sees the full ritual. I think he cuts and he's out of the closet. And he sees Angela, right?
Oh yeah,
Angela's
you're right.
He
sees Angela,
and she's like on the floor, and she's like, no one will ever touch me again, or something like that. Which I thought was an interesting like thing. I don't like if that's supposed to mean like she's been assaulted by like the cult, and like obviously this is another part of Mary, so we're supposed to take it like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll talk about it again later when we get to the next Angela scene.
Okay.
Well, I guess we'll talk about it.
Okay, when that character pops back up. Okay.
Yeah. But that scene is in the game, by the way, with the whole knife and stuff. They do that where she has the knife, she's like laid down like that. Okay. That's pretty accurate, but yeah.
And it leads to pretty much nothing because they just basically part ways.
Yeah. And in the game, that does happen too, where she kind of freaks out. Like James is trying to help her and stuff. He kind of feels bad for her, and then she gets the knife and does that. And then you leave, and then you see her again. But
okay.
So yeah.
So then from there, he walks outside of the building. Oh, it might from there cut right back to where the other part of the ritual thing is, and then he walks outside of the apartment or the apartment building, and it's the little girl Laura is out there, and she's on a wall. And she has what looks like a baby doll. And he's like, how'd you get up there? And she describes that she sees some kind of creature like crawling, and she jumped up there, which doesn't answer his question.
Yeah, you're really avoiding the question there, Laura.
She's like, I'm going to avoid this question and say, catch me.
She used her double jump. It was like a video game character has. Which that's also funny because she obviously doesn't want him to see the doll, but she's like, catch me. He's like,
I know, and then immediately puts it behind her back.
Wow, that's a weird looking thing.
And so he asks about the doll. She refuses to show him. She says, I got this from Mary. He freaks out and goes, Mary, Mary. And then she runs off into one of two mazes. Which I think mazes as labyrinths, and that's what I said in my review. But you said in your review or your mini review, when myself or someone in a Rotten Tomatoes review said labyrinths, you're like, there's not really labyrinth. Like,
no, there's a labyrinth in the game, and it's actually a labyrinth. It's like a big, like, it from what I remember, it's like a big building you have to like figure out how to get through it. It's actually like a straight up like puzzle area. Here I guess this is kind of a replacement for it because it's like it's not, but they're not going to do a puzzle. They're not going to do a 20-minute moment where he has to collect all this shit just to move on to the next thing. So I think this is his way of, here you go. It's not a labyrinth, but it's a maze, close enough,
Yeah.
And also like it's
someone
in
like
front
me,
of, it's also like a fancy town. So, like he probably watched The Shining. So he's just like, it'd be kind of cool if we have like a cool little hedge maze,
Yeah.
Like, sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
And so he follows her through the maze. She runs around the corner. He follows her, and when she's nowhere to be seen. There's a wall, which is our first instance of, maybe she's not actually a person. And then he continues, even though she's disappeared. He's like, she must still be in this maze, and tries to find her. We do have a shot, which I completely missed when I first watched it, because I remember watching it, and when Maria jumps up, I said, where the fuck did you come from? But then I saw she is in the fog or the mist, like following. So she comes into the scene. They have really awkward back and forth where he stares at her and she's like, why are you staring with your mouth open, basically? And this is the one character I will say, I don't have the actress's name written down, but the actor here definitely played it. I don't know how accurate to the game as far as her representation of costuming, but it's very cartoony to me. Like, it's very over the top. And
she comes off as like almost like she plays it almost more like a femme fatale, almost like like a Jessica Rabbit almost, like something like that, where she's just like she's kind of too cool or whatever, almost.
Yeah, it's Hannah Emily Anderson, just so I can get that. But
I mean, this is pretty close to the game. Her character doesn't mean as much though in this than she did in the game. So, but she's portraying Maria as if it's the same character. It's weird to explain. Like her purpose in the story doesn't mean as much. Her performance is about right for Maria.
Okay,
there's just not enough of her, So Maria's like I would say Maria's like the second most important character in the entire game, and she's there. She walks around with him a little bit. She gets stabbed twice, and that's it. She gets twice. And that's it. Then she finds a clue at one point. Well, that's it. I mean, find a clue is a little much. He literally walks into a room, and then there's just the tape they need to say that his wife was in the hospital.
Yes. Nope. Correct. Yeah. That's very much just there, and it definitely points more towards that. It's not really. It's like she knew what she was looking for because she's not real, and and so
she knows how to point him in the right direction.
Exactly. Yeah. So they leave the maze. They go outside. They have a confrontation where this is, I believe, as you said, the radio kind of disappears. I think this is the last instance of the radio taking place, and he says, "Oh, when the noise happens, there's something near," and one of the lying creatures or lying figures is walking by, and instead of kind of going around the car, they just kind of sit. I don't know why they would just go around the car.
Also, the lying figure like disappears, I think, because they're just like, all right, well, and it walks like it takes like 4 steps away, and they're just like, all right, we're good. And they just start walking away. I'm like, the thing isn't.
It can't go backwards.
Also, there's a part where the acid's like dripping close to James.
Yeah, his foot. And he just slowly moves his foot.
He moves his foot, but then he puts his arm close to where the acid was, where it was dripping. I'm like, bro, you're gonna get hit. What are you doing? Like. Oh, it was weird, but it's just another scene to be like, well, we got the monsters. Look, it went under the car. That's it. It does that in the game. It goes under the cars sometimes, So
because there's like a sewer system or something that it went into. But it's just another shot of the creature for us to be like, oh yeah, there's things in this city.
So you never creatures, remember?
They go into the hospital, as we've already stated. They're looking for a file on Mary because he actually finds a letter at the kind of like the shrine of her dead father. That's like, this is where she's at. This is like a bill, and so he goes there. And one of the funniest things to me, and I commented on this, the Cineverses or Return of Silent Hills thing, is their official postcard, which we've mentioned, states like CCO or whatever the like where it came from, and it says the room number. I'm like, he had the room number the whole time.
And the room number is also a reference to the game, so like, because that's whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. They reference shit, but they don't care about the actual story.
Yeah,
that's
so
funny.
they find out that she was very sick, and basically this is where he finds out that she's dead. She has died. Maria basically is just like oh, basically that sucks.
Whoops. Yikes.
And so they continue to walk through the hospital for some reason, because he doesn't believe she's dead. And ultimately comes across a bunch of nurses just kind of scattered throughout, and then one big room which they enter for some reason. Like it's not part of the hallway, no reason you had to enter that room. So how do the nurses work in the games? Because we're nearing the end of the film. They've just introduced the nurses. How do they work? Do they just come back to life? What makes them kind of move? Like what alerts them?
In the game, it's actually kind of cool because like you can actually like they did this in the first Silent Hill movie where like they are activated by light and also sound. So if they're not if you sneak by them in that movie, the character does, they don't move. They just like they're like still. And in this movie, they were doing that for a second, and then it just like randomly they start moving and stuff. In the game, they're always moving around. They're not like frozen at any point. But there's a point where you can get by them if you just turn off your radio. So that's why I was saying before, like sometimes you might want to turn off your radio. I could be, it's been a little while, so I'm pretty sure that's it. I think if you turn off your radio, you can kind of sneak by them and it won't make any noise because they don't have eyes. So you can just kind of, But in this, it's just they're just creatures and they run after the guys and
what also seems like in this they do have eyes.
Yeah, like, they do. They have like these really weird gaping holes in their faces, like little like.
And in the games, they're completely wrapped, correct?
Yeah, and they have like these weird things in their mouths. I guess it's supposed to be like almost like a BDSM thing, also, because it looks like they have like this like not ball gag, but it has like a square thing where their mouth would be. It's a very weird design. Like if you look at it, it's very strange and creepy. But in this and the other movies, they just have like no face. Yeah, they look like Slender Man almost. Just like a big like ball head, with a nurse cap on.
Well, I did learn that the creatures such as these nurses, as well as some of the not all of them, but majority of the lying figures were actual people in the costumes, and they were ballet performers, which I mean that makes sense with their physique and like kind of their movements and stuff. But and then are they made of porcelain? Like one of them steps on the other, the head breaks? Nope. That's just nothing.
Nope. When you fight, no, they're actually tough enemies in the like you could.
They seem fragile as fuck.
I wish they were fragile in the game because you waste a lot of shotgun shells on this guy on those enemies. But I mean, it seemed like they just wanted the visual and just have a scene where there's actual like action, I guess. That's what it felt like. There was no real tension. The scene was over in like 3 minutes.
It's very fast. It's very much in line with the Pyramid Head, where it's just here's the people, the thing that you're looking for. This is it. Bye.
The more I talk about this movie, the less I think I actually.
That's kind of how I felt.
You know what? Like it just felt like a cameo show. Like here's our Pyramid cameo. Like okay, all right, cool. I mean, it's still better than Revelations where they turn Pyramid Head into the bodyguard of the main character. Well, like what the what? I'm sorry, he's the bodyguard of our main character.
They pulled a T2.
Yeah, pretty much. Like he's like the good guy almost. Like it's like all right, sure, whatever you say.
So they run away from these nurses. They end up in a elevator that is seemingly very run down. He's doing a good job with a pipe, or not a pipe, it's a arm of a
piece of
wheelchair.
like a
He ripped
wheelchair.
out
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah.
I don't even know how he did it. He like ripped it out. Like
artist strength. You got that artist strength.
Yeah, that very notable thing that people have. And he starts whipping around and killing almost all of them. Except there's a lot more. And somehow one gets by him and goes to Maria, stabs her in the stomach, and he gets in the elevator. They go down, and go ahead, Chris.
And then, I was gonna say there's a point where she does that, and I'm like, oh, she's dead. Okay, well, there you go. That's in the game. She does die in an elevator. She doesn't get on the elevator, and Pyramid Head kills her in the game. So, and they're like, oh no, and that's the first time she dies, and then she shows up later, and James is like, what the fuck? I saw you die. And she's like, no. And then and here
no, she gets
no. In this, she gets stabbed, and he's like, oh, I need to find this rundown abandoned hospital. There has to be something good in here. And he gets like a gauze pad or whatever. He's like, and she's like, oh. And does he like inject her with like a adrenaline or some shit? I don't know. Yeah. She's like, I'm good now. We can go.
I'm good now. Yeah. And so he then basically is like, I need to still find to marry, but she's probably dead. And she's like, yeah, she's dead. It's like, but if you want to continue on your search, like make sure to come back to me no matter what. If your search is futile. And then from there he has yet another flashback, which is from him being back at home after witnessing the chaos of whatever occurred at the ritual. She's dropped off in a taxi or something, and she walks up and she's perfectly clean. She must have taken a shower, and she and him have an argument where she's like, I told you from the beginning, like my life is messed up. Like
I'm like, oh, come on. It's like, I thought maybe like, oh, you have like, I don't know, weird fam. I didn't mean like this. I didn't know you were part of a cult. You could have said that. Like, come on.
It's key details left out. And so as you said, you feel like he had the right to walk away.
Yeah. Especially since he it's not that he walked away. He said, like, let's leave. You and me, let's go. You don't even want to be here. It's revealed later she didn't really want to be here. She almost felt like she was kind of more pressured than anything. And she had a horrible life, as we're going to be revealed later. So, like, I mean, I don't blame him for leaving. Like, in the game, a lot of the blame and guilt he feels is justified because he did, kind of give up on her when she needed him the most and stuff. And like, even though he was there for her, he resented her for being sick and stuff and kind of ruining his life in some way. So it makes sense in the game. Here, it's like, he wasn't even there. He was there for 10 minutes while she was sick. And then I'm jumping ahead, but whatever.
No,
anyway,
we're getting close to it.
We're getting close to it. But so it doesn't make sense, the whole guilt aspect in this movie compared to the game, and this scene made it even less make sense because like I don't understand if you felt guilt, you came back and like, oh no, I should stay with her, but like also you don't know what these cult members are gonna do. They could show up one day to his house and murder him in his sleep. It's like it felt like it felt like Get Out. Like no race aspect to it, but like the whole family's insane. And like at any point the girlfriend could be in and on it too. I'm getting the fuck out of here. It's like I felt for James. I was like, yeah, get out of here, man. I'm fully on board with everything he said. Get the fuck out. Yeah, get out, James. Run.
And so he leaves her. This is where we then go back, and now we've basically Laura is there. And she now is revealing her baby doll is not a baby doll. It's actually a really weird, terrifying looking baby, which they don't really explain what is that about or anything. Is it just to be scary baby?
I think it, because she does say her baby. I think it is insinuating that when she was a young girl, she was. Silent Hill 2 deals with some really Silent Hill 2 deals with some really messed up stuff. Not that though. That's new. by the way.
Okay.
But the character Angela, it's going to be kind of revealed later in this movie, that all happens in the game. We'll get to it. But anyway, so yeah, Laura, the baby, is creepy, and she's like, go in here, James. And James goes in, and then he's locked in. And this is actually a part in the game where you're supposed to fight a boss. And then what happens here is he goes in there, and these weird like piston things are coming out of the wall. If you remember that part.
I remember the piston part when he
oh no, is that what
that's when he meets it with Angela. That's later.
Yeah,
this is he's in a room and the moth reveals itself for the first time on the bed that's like upside down or whatever it is.
You're right. You're right.
And she shoves her multiple hands down his throat, which causes him to have another flashback.
Yeah, which I don't think is a flashback. I think this is supposed to be him being taken.
This is reality.
This is reality now because
and she's like, "Come back to me when you are ready." I think is what she says.
That's what Laura says. Yeah, come back when you're ready. And we didn't talk about this, but there's a scene earlier in the movie with the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist gets a call from James. James is like, this place is spooky, scary," and the psychiatrist is like, "What? Why'd you go there? What?" And then she calls the wellness, to get like a
police,
a welfare, a wellness check, or
and she does the classic thing where she's just calling a number and she goes, "It's me."
It's me. Hey, it's me. She calls all the time. Like, damn, you're not a really good psychiatrist if you have to call all the time for a wellness check. But yeah, it's me. Another one today. Yeah. So I guess it's supposed to be like in between that call and this I guess reality portion. He got picked up from he was probably in his apartment losing his mind, walking around like, where's Mary? Mary got stabbed or whatever. I don't know what he's doing in his apartment. But so it's revealed at this point that everything in the Silent Hill universe is not real. It's just all in his head, which I assume that's the case.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's 100% what's happening exactly. Did you ever see the movie Identity?
No, I don't even know that one, to be honest.
It has John Cusack in it. It has a reveal that's very similar, and it kind of ruins the movie.
You can feel free to ruin it, man. What's the premise of it first? Like, what is
the premise? Is everybody's in a like almost like a motel, I believe. It's been a long time since I've seen it, and the whole point, like, people start getting murdered. It's just a group of people in a motel. I think there's like a storm or something, so they have to stay there, and they start getting picked off one by one.
Yeah,
I can't remember exactly the premise. I remember it was very tense and the acting was very good. And then there's a reveal towards the end where everything happening in this world is actually in the mind of a serial killer, like a psycho. So every character in that movie is not real. None of them. Huh. So then, but that's not the end reveal. That's literally like maybe 2/3 of the way through the movie. So the rest of the movie is us looking through the mind of the serial killer as people are still trying to escape whatever the threat is. I can't remember, honestly. But so the reveal completely ruins the movie. And because it's like, who gives a shit anymore? So in a way, this is similar because like it's all in his head. You can make the argument that you want to see him like prevail by going through the rest of the story in his head and then like breaking off the vision and then accepting Mary's death. But it doesn't really do that as we get to I guess it kind of does that. I don't know. We'll get to it. Anyway, he's in the reality and his psychiatrist's like, you're doing well, James. I know you can break through this psychotic streak. She didn't say that. That would be a bad thing to say. But
in better words, she said that.
Yeah, pretty much. And then it seems like it might be like working because he kind of looks like a little bit like almost like he's coming back to reality a little bit, and then he snaps back into the Silent Hill reality. I can't remember exactly where he snaps back into.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Well, all the moths come and swarm the hospital, right. And then he. Oh,
is this when he wakes up at the hospital? No. He wakes up in the same area and then he leaves and he looks like he's like a drone almost. He's like. He's like just like
he walks out, and then he has like a mission where he's like, I have to go get Mary because she's not dead in my mind.
Yeah. And then Maria's fine now, even though she got stabbed, but she's fine. She got the good stuff. So it starts walking with him and stuff. She's like, James, don't do this. She's dead. What are you doing? Because she knows that the reality is infecting the vision, I guess, or the imaginary world. And he goes in the elevator, he goes down, and then there's all these paintings because he's a painter and he always paints Mary and stuff. So there's all these paintings and stuff, which was actually a cool visual, like all these halls with all these paintings.
Yeah, I really liked that. I think that's one of my favorite kind of sequences throughout, is just how it's basically he's trying to leave her behind because he does not care that she followed him down the elevator. Like he's like, as he's walking by the paintings, they light up, and as he walks by the paintings, they like go black. And she's like walking as they're going black, she's like in the darkness, like he's leaving her behind. But keep going.
Which it was a cool visual. I like that. But the entire time Maria's like, we could just leave together, which again, kind of like the game, because the whole time Maria wants you to just leave with her. And this version of Mary's not obviously Mary. She's a different version of her, but she wants to leave. It's never really explicitly said, but like, the shot of Maria just appearing almost out of nowhere. Like the first time we see her, she's just there.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be kind of like Silent Hill actually just conjuring her up. Like you go almost, she never existed until that one shot. It's kind of similar to the game. The game had almost like a DLC story that was all through the perspective of Maria, and she's kind of like just conjured up out of nowhere. Here they don't explain anything. So she's just there, and she's Mary except with different clothes and says fuck sometimes. And so she's there like, let's just leave, James, let's go. And then of course he's like, no, and he does the thing again where like the world's about to change, except this time he's in control of it because he summons Pyramid Head, and Pyramid Head, I guess this was also a violent part, I guess.
To me, I agree. It is a violent part, but it's terribly done. It's like a awkward like close frame on like the violence being done, and you have this like they really didn't do like CGI blood anywhere else in the film, but it's obvious CGI blood that's like going off the camera. It's like why?
Exactly. They could have easily just had like almost like a fake body lift up. Like I like some of the faraway shots just have like a fake dummy with like squirting blood out of it or something. But no, they had like, I think it was actually the actress just lifted up with like a CG maybe blade coming out of her, and then fake blood squirting out. But anyway, she gets killed, I guess, even though she technically doesn't exist, but she dies. And the game again does a better job of it because she gets killed multiple times and she keeps coming back because she's just a vision of what he would want Mary to be. So she doesn't really exist. But here he fought her off, even though she didn't do anything bad to him at all throughout the 20 minutes she's on screen. So where at least in the game that would make sense because she's actually an antagonistic presence throughout most of it. But anyway, so she's gone. She's kaput. We don't see her again. We don't see Maria ever again. Well, we see her in the end credits, I guess. we see her in the weird like end credits, like montage of them like staring and looking like they're doing like some GQ spread or whatever. Very strange. but what's the scene? You know what? You do a better job of telling this.
To be fair, this is a part of the film where I was just like, "What's happening?" And I believe that this is as I mentioned before. There's two mazes in this film. This is the other maze. They do an overshot. It's a maze of all the portraits. I believe this leads him to the room where Angela's at, which he goes into. She's on the bed, like she's like. I believe she's sitting awkwardly, like her knees are on the bed, and she's like, don't come near me. And then she's like, you see it too. And she lifts her dress up enough that you see these white ghoulish, like huge arms or hands, like gripping her thighs. And then he's like, grab my hand, like basically I'll protect you and get you out of here. And as he does that, and she moves to do that as well, the hands start dragging her like Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street down into the bed, and so he's like dragging, like trying, and he has no use at all, and he gets sucked into that world too.
Yeah,
and then this is where I think, Chris, you have
cube area almost.
Yeah, and this is where I think you were trying to bring up earlier. There's like these things coming out of the wall. So what is this place? Where
all
are
right,
we?
This is 100% in the game. So again, I'll give them credit here. I think this happened after the reveal of Mary being, or Angela and Laura being Mary, right? I can't remember now, because I think this is supposed to be because he knows that Angela is
Mary. I don't know. No,
it's not,
because I believe he does this whole situation, and then he
wakes up in the
then he wakes up outside.
Yeah, you're right.
Because she blows up.
Yeah,
So what is this world like? What room is this?
Okay,
is like a torture room, or
in the game, Angela was. I guess I could just say it. She was abused by both her father and her brother, but her father was the big culprit. She murders both of them, and then that's why she's seeing weird things in Silent Hill, because she murders both her brother and her father after they sexually abused her. So she ran to Silent Hill and she sees all this stuff. So this thing you see, this bed creature, is in the game. It's called the Abstract Daddy. That's what it's called, because it's her dad, and it's like really abstract and weird looking. It looks a little bit different in the game, but it's fairly close. And it's a boss fight. Here it's not really. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" And he like touches her, and he's like, I forgot what he said. I'm sorry, I think he says, or something.
Yeah, he says sorry. Yeah,
and then and stuff. But the piston things is supposed to be. I mean, it's stuff coming in and out. I think you get
got it. Understood.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. In the game, at least. I don't. Maybe if you ask Christoph Gans, I don't know. Maybe it's a different meaning to that, but I'm assuming that it's the same. But yeah, so that section was maybe a little too short, because you only barely see the Abstract Daddy creature. It's a practical thing, though. It looked fairly good. I paused on it. It looked pretty good. But they keep it very obscured, and it's done well, especially when it's revealed that that's actually supposed to be Mary. So it's done well because it ties it into it makes you feel bad for Mary, which at that point I wasn't really feeling that bad for her. So it actually does help with the oh man, that sucks. And then of course the whole baby aspect with the Laura version of her also being there. I'm like, oh Jesus. It's like maybe James should have stayed. And so do what he did to those nurses with that.
Beating the shit out of them. And so he ultimately says, I'm sorry. This causes her to basically spontaneously combust and explode, which causes the entirety of the hospital to catch on fire. But he is not within the hospital while it's on fire. We wake up we're with him when he wakes up, and he is now outside. He is, I believe this is his first. No, yep, he's in the lake. Yep, because he comes out of the lake and he's like gasping for breath. Yep, exactly. Yep, and then he decides to then go. It looks like, doesn't he just go right back into the hospital because it's like a flame?
Because he's on a mission now. He knows what he has to do, so he's just like, I got to go in there. He knows where to go to. So I think this is supposed to be the version of the hospital that's not the messed up like mind version. So he walks in, and then this is where we get the scene where
we get a scene with Laura.
We get
who does the classic horror like backwards walking across the couch.
Yep, of course. Creepy. Oh, scary.
By the way, that actress is in Wednesday. If you've not seen Wednesday, so
I thought you were gonna bring up that she actually does also play that character in the Silent Hill 2 remake.
Oh, I didn't know that. If that's true, but no, she's in Wednesday season 2.
Okay, cool. So well, I'm glad. She's good in the game. She's good in Silent Hill 2 remake, so I'm glad she got more roles. But and she's not bad in this. She's just like, I'm scary ghost girl, and then I do the creepy walk thing. I'm like, all right, not really the character in the game. She's just an annoying girl, a little girl. That kind of messes with you, like locks you in a room when there's a evil thing trying to kill you,
Yeah. Well, she's like as we've gone over a few times, this is where the tombstone comes into play.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's like, remember her full name.
What's her
And
full
then
name, James? Which okay, he's blocking out all pretty much everything that he doesn't want to know. So like he doesn't want to know that she's dead, so he thinks she's alive. He already knows
Yeah.
at this point she's dead. It's the same in the game. In the game, he's blocking out all the stuff he does not want to know about Mary, the truth. So him not knowing that her middle name is Angela and Laura, and he just met two characters. One of them looks exactly like his wife, named Angela and Laura. All right, fine. Yeah. But the reveal was it was corny. It was a really corny.
No, it's to me like the reveal was terribly done. I think that it was not only because of the way they delivered it, but more so that it's just it's so awkwardly on that tombstone. Yeah. It's just like, and it's also was just like, I'm like, I guess if my mind is right and they were only dating for 9 months, maybe he didn't know her middle names.
Yeah, so, which would make it even funnier that Laura was like, "What's her middle name, James?" I'm like, "I don't fucking know. I have no idea." I don't know.
Stacy, I think.
Yes. Yeah, no, no, you dumb asshole. Did you love her? I think so.
It's like the anytime there's like these dumb reveals like this, which is not even close to like the same like way, but it's just like I always get pulled into. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Number 23 with Jim Carrey, but it's just like where his name is Top Secrets, and it's because it's Top Secrets.
Top Secrets, yeah. Wow, I do remember that.
Like, do you remember your name? Top Secrets. Yeah, Top Secret.
Oh, man, that's a great movie.
Is it? That's a question.
No.
No. But all right, so from there, this is where my memory kind of gets foggy. So he learns that, and then this is where the final flashback occurs. Is this his final? Is that his final?
Because
in the world of Fountainville.
This is the reveal that Mary is
that she's and then he then has the flashback where he is now has received that letter. That letter is in fact from her. The letter is saying, please come back to our special place, which I guess is the hospital, where she is very sick. And she's very sick from the chemical thing they've been giving to her, which she explains her entire life. She's been given this drug, this whatever, and by her fellow cult members. And in the game, she is cancer, right?
It's just they don't even describe what it is. It's probably just cancer,
just an illness. And
I don't think it's
so she is dying from that. She's definitely fatigued. She's sitting in a chair. He helps her over to the bed and goes to get her water, or I don't know what he goes to get her, but there's water on the counter, and she reaches over the counter, falls over, and she's like, I can't do this anymore. Like, please help me. Like, I've been through a bunch of suffering in my life. I need to this be over. You can help me. And he gets a wet washcloth. That's right.
The same thing because the same thing he uses to cover, like to clean her nose or whatever. In the game, this does happen. By the way, he does kill her. As like it's a little bit selfish.
It's like a mercy kill.
Yeah, it's a mercy kill, but it's also a little selfish because he does want to move on with his life. So that's why James is so complex in the game, because it's a mercy kill, but he also is just like. He wants to move on with his life, but then he feels such immense guilt that he makes up this whole story that Mary's not dead. She's just at Silent Hill waiting for me. So he goes there, and then that's where the game starts. In the game, it's revealed that Mary's been dead the entire time, just like this, except that he killed her. He thought she was been dead for 3 years. In the game, she's only been dead for like 3 days, and she's actually in the back of his car, the car that he drives up. So that's why the scene after this happens.
Okay. Well, we'll just get to that. So so how does he kill her? He kills her with the same method, smothering.
It was
which I feel like this is not very beneficial. It's such a small rag, but whatever. She puts her hand on his hand, and they it's a moment. I think it works well enough,
yeah,
minus the
work.
awful beard.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Because he's nailing the crying. Like I actually felt it, but like every time they show, he's like, and he has this. It looked like what was it? What were those toys where like you could like move the like metal like shard pieces on like the face of like the guy? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I have zero clue, man. I was like trying to remember toys. I don't God,
I wish I want to look it up while I talk, but
absolutely.
But yeah, I'm not gonna be able to find male shavings. There you go. Thank you.
I bet you'll find it right away.
Yeah.
So while we're looking
Woolly
into
Willy. You look like
Woolly
that.
Willy.
Look up Woolly Willy.
I'm gonna look that up.
It's a dumbass toy where it's like it's like almost like an etch and sketch, but you use like these metal shards to like paint like the face. You can put like hair on them and stuff. It looked like that. It looked fake as hell. It looked really bad. But if you don't remember Woolly Willy, then you're not a boomer like me. Sorry. So that's why I still talk about a game from 25 years ago, Silent Hill 2. But anyway.
Oh, I do remember this. You know what? I remember, and just for reference, it's there. There you go. But this is something I feel like was at like Cracker Barrels. Like, growing up. So
probably.
But yeah, no. So he kills her. He then takes her body in the movie, and you say that he puts her in the trunk in the game. He puts her in the passenger seat here, but he's unaware that he's put her in.
Funny. Can I just say what's funny is that does he put her in a passenger seat because he doesn't actually have a back seat? Doesn't he have like one of those like? I can't remember.
I think it is a convertible that doesn't have.
In the game, he puts her in the back seat and then covers her with the blanket or whatever. So like when you even in the new game, if you try to look in the car, if you already know she's supposed to be dead in there, they frost up the window so you can't really see, but you can kind of see there's something back there. Here you wouldn't be able to do that. You literally can't put her. You can put her in the trunk, I guess, but like.
Well, I guess in the final scene, he does have a bunch of art stuff in the back seat, but I guess that's when they first meet, so he might not have that stuff still back there.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, so he
takes a swim.
Yeah, he takes a swim to never come back up, and he's this is the other moment where he basically goes into a first-person perspective, which I thought was cool. And he looks over at her body, and then looks at himself through the rearview mirror, and you see kind of the life kind of going out of him as little bubbles come out of his mouth. I thought that was a cool shot. But then instead of just going credits, they then go back to the beginning. He's driving the car. He's about to crash into the semi. He crashes into the suitcases. They have their mute cute. He
does it differently. This time he acts like a cool guy. This time he's like, hey, what's up, baby?
Because it starts right when he almost gets hit and he runs into her, and then he's like, oh shit, I'm back. And then
he realizes he's back. And he does it a little bit differently to the point where it's like, oh yeah, I know your name. It's Mary. It was on your suitcase, and like it's cool. You want to come with me? And instead of going back to Silent Hill, they leave this time.
They go the opposite direction.
Because he's just like, well, this place sucks, so we're not staying here. Go
ahead. I have a moment here, but you might be.
No, you go, please. You go first.
There's so. Everything you've said is 100% how the scene plays out. And I was just like, what's happening? But, maybe all this, like I said at the beginning, maybe it's a drug, PDA, who knows? He ultimately gets in the car. She goes, it's like, would you paint? And he's like, yeah, I'm a painter. And then she's like, what do you paint? And he's like, he's just like,
pyramids.
he's like, you don't want to know.
You ain't know.
So
like you don't want to know. Actually,
so then they crank up the volume in the car for it to be the most mellow outro of all time from this composer. Which, by the way, we've not talked about the score, which we'll leave. Same as my review, which you can find on Cinefied.com. I leave it with that. I do think the score is one of the redeeming factors of this
Yes.
movie, and the score is fantastic.
Mocha.
And even though it does not match at all,
No,
James
to be
cranking
fair-
up the volume.
Yeah, you know what's so funny is that like I love the soundtrack of Silent Hill 2 particularly. All of the Silent Hill games have great soundtracks, even the shitty ones. Because there are shitty Silent Hill games. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you that our franchise is good, but the music's always great. But the music at times it's hard rock. Like the song you heard at the end, that's Laura's theme. Like the little girl, the one it has like the fucking hardcore like rock solo. That's her theme. Just a little girl that plays pranks on you. She gets
but
that.
They decided to use that there for some reason.
I mean, it's so weird because that is like it's either that or there's another song called Promise. Those are the two big Silent Hill 2 songs. They play that one, which I mean, it doesn't fit at all. But I when I was watching, I was like, I know that song, so it made me happy. I don't know. I was like, this is a stupid ending, but I know that song. I'm gonna jam out for a second at least. All right. So, we didn't mention the best part is that he put on the cool guy sunglasses. He puts on his cool guy sunglasses too. That's the best part. All right. So this ending, what I interpret it as is he just relapsed back into his fantasy. He didn't actually kill himself. He's still in the hospital and he relapsed back into a fantasy and he's just like
he's starting over.
Yeah, he's starting over in his fantasy and he didn't because I want to say they play a noise at the end. Don't they play like some noise? Not the song. There's another noise at the end. I cannot remember what it was. But that's insinuating something. I cannot remember. I don't want to watch it again just to find out. But I swear they play another noise or something like that. That's like
you might be right. I don't remember that. I know there's some kind of feedback thing that happens.
Yeah.
At the
it was the radio
right before.
I think it's the radio. I think it's supposed to be the radio.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, that makes no sense. Why the fuck would it be the radio? I don't know. Maybe it's because he's still in silent. I don't know. Anyway, but one thing we actually did forget to mention is the whole Moth Mary aspect, actually, because we did
not bring her back at all. You're totally right. So where does that play out? So
I think it's right before he kills her. Actually, in the no, it's right after. Wait, shit.
Is it right? So he has the interaction with Laura, and then from Laura, he has like the vision. Man, where does that take place?
I think it might be after
the top. He goes up to the top of the building.
Yeah, he goes up to the top.
They don't explain how he gets to the top. And then that has Laura at the beginning says like, oh, that hotel has the best view of the lake. And he makes some comment that's really not funny. And she like makes a sarcastic comment back to him. Yeah. But yeah, okay. So somewhere in that instance, he goes back to the roof. The roof is ablaze. There's fire everywhere. And he walks through the flames. And there is a just random bed with a kind of wrapped up body there, which starts to ascend. As it ascends, he is kind of looking at it and it starts kind of turning from like flat to now like this. And it's revealed that it's the moth woman that put her arms down his throat earlier, which is actually, I believe you call her Moth Mary.
Yeah, that's in the game.
Who is Moth Mary?
Moth Mary in the game is the I guess you could say the Silent Hill version of regular Mary. It's supposed to be the bedridden version of Mary that he sees as like almost like a threat to the rest of not a threat, but an obstacle in his life, and he sees her as almost like a creature now. The moth symbolism is throughout this movie. And I'm glad they don't really explain it too much. In the game, they don't really explain it too, but it's supposed to be like, you know how a butterfly and a moth is like an ugly version of a butterfly. It's pretty much that. Like she was a butterfly. She was beautiful. She got corrupted by his warped view of her in her final days because he wanted to, more sexy or whatever, all that stuff. So she's now a moth. That's why she's a moth. She's Moth Mary. Because it's like a corrupted version of a butterfly. Something beautiful that gets corrupted. That's in the game. That's what they explain it as in the lore of the game. So they don't really explain it here, but that's why she's supposed to be Moth Mary, even though she doesn't really look like a moth. I guess she has the wings or whatever. She looks more like what's his name from Stranger Things? The fucking guy, Vecna. That guy. Like Vecna. But because in the game she just looks like she doesn't look like a bug either, but she looks like more like sickly, and she is, by the way, the final boss fight in the game. You do fight your bedridden wife at the end of the game with a shotgun.
I thought you said Eddie was one of the final bosses. Is he not?
He's a second to last boss, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think you fight him, and then no, that's not true. You fight Pyramid Head after that. He's the third to last boss, and then you fight 2 Pyramid Heads because they're like, you fought 1 pyramid earlier. How about 2? So
double down.
Double down. And and then Moff Mary at the end. So I think I'm correct there, right? Someone could correct me if they're listening and they're like, no, that's wrong. He's a fake fan. But even when I watched that Angry Joe review too. There's a point where Alex, I think that's his name.
It's one of them. Yeah, Joe and Alex.
The other Joe. Yeah, it's Alex. He got a couple things wrong, and immediately I'm like, let me see how many people corrected him in the comments. I looked down, it's like every comment's like, actually, Alex is wrong. So like, yeah, there you go. But
it's because they were very confident in their responses. So, I actually kind of like the scene. I thought it was like, so the CG fire doesn't look very good. It looks better here than it did when he was running away from the bugs.
Oh yeah, that looked really stupid. Like, because that's in the trailer where he's like running. He's like, oh, it looks so green screen. But yeah, it does look better here. It still does look great though. When he starts floating, it looks a little goofy. But again, for a low budget, I was expecting this to be like even lower than 20 million. I was actually kind of surprised when I heard it was actually 20 million. Considering there was
that revealed anywhere, or are people still just speculating?
I think he. Christoph Gans, I think it is, but I think it's like 20. Maybe it might be a little bit more than 20 million.
Because I would have from the way this film looks, I feel like it's more of like a 10 to 15 million. It feels like it costs money. Like it looks like they put a lot of production value into it, but it doesn't seem like the studio. I mean, it's not like a big studio production, so it's like how much money does and it's like how far along was it before Cineverse stepped in was I'm distributing it. So I wonder how much money they had to begin with, and if they had this 20 million to begin with before Cineverse stepped in, which is crazy.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of I want to say there's a lot of producers for it. I could be wrong. So but I think they got a lot of because there's no big studio attached to this. Cineverse is still pretty new, so I wouldn't really call it big. I mean, Terrifier 3. I don't even think they released Terrifier 2. They only did 3, right?
That's correct. Well, no, they did. They did a limited. Well,
I'm not sure
because you're right. Because Iconic Events, I think, did the second one, and then I think Cineverse picked up.
And I think Bloody Disgusting also.
Bloody Disgusting, which commonly deals with stuff with Cineverse, so that makes sense.
Oh, do they? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because I remember them being in the trailer. I was like, oh, Bloody Disgusting. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it does say it's a $23 million budget, and as I stated at the beginning, we are kind of in a bad weather time. It's also a film that's not been well praised at all, with a probably 12% now. I don't know what score is now.
It's going up. It was at 7%. We're getting high. It's gonna be 90% by next week.
I don't think so. And so,
oh shit.
And so, considering the weather, considering the bad reviews, it's not doing well. It has a $3.2 million as of right now, against 23 million. I mean, I've seen tons of fanfare for this film, as far as people having a voice about it, whether that be mainly negative or some very positive. Or it's just definitely been in people's minds that are fans of the game. I've seen tons of comments on Reddit. So I mean, just because it's socially very a hot topic to talk about does not mean it's going to put people in seats and have people spend money. I mean, you have the case of Minecraft movie, which had a social media thing where it's that's brought people into the theater. This film, it doesn't have that type of moment that's been around social media, but I do think if anything, the social media thing is oh shit, it's the worst reviewed video game in 10 years.
I thought we were getting out of the bad video game movies. Even Minecraft wasn't that bad. At least the reviews wasn't a 50%. It was whoa. Couldn't predict that one. I thought that would have been real low. And then this comes out. I was all right, hold my beer. I will say I like this more than Minecraft, but I'm a little I'm a little biased because my theater experience for Minecraft, like many's, was
Was
probably
awesome.
yeah, it was amazing. I loved it. So I take it back. Minecraft cinema peak. But yeah.
So we do have one more section, which is only going to take about 10 minutes. And I do want to say thank you forever has stuck around for our chat. We've definitely broken down the film as best as I can, and and that's just from memory. But I feel like it's not that hard of a film to kind of break down. But we definitely missorted some stuff. But is there anything else about this film apart from, of course, your review, which I highly recommend people go check out? It's on his GortheMovieGod page, and it's over an hour. So it's very much a fan's point of view of this film, and having seen it with certain expectations going into it. I think you've come out of it much higher than some people. I do think the honesty about if you go into a movie with low expectations, you do normally come out of it with a better experience. But I do think that the tanking of the Rotten Tomatoes score has definitely made people kind of go, I don't want to watch that because it's going to be awful. And then kind of like, and some of my friends are guilty of that, where they'll see a Rotten Tomatoes score and be like, oh, it's rotten, and then go into it. And even if it's an okay film, be like, it wasn't that good. I mean, critics don't think it's good. So I do think there's bias there. But if you want to see an honest review, definitely go check out GortheMovieGod's review. And then also we have our written review on Cinefied.com, which is about a 3-minute read. I'm going to tweak one or two things because I did in that review put that the actress was not the same playing Angela because of what IMDb stated, but I will alter that.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I saw it said like the actress's name, and then it said Angela, Mary, Maria, and Moth Mary. I'm pretty sure it could credit all 4 of those, but I could be wrong. Maybe
I'll just remove the name and not credit anybody.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be. Because I think even I want to say I saw a tweet from the actual Return to Silent Hill Twitter saying like she plays all 4 characters or whatever. Like see Hannah, Emily, Anderson, Cooper, whatever her name is, play all 4 characters, something like that. I was like, all right. Yeah,
we got a regular Eddie Murphy on our hands.
yeah. She should have been in a fat suit for one of them. That would be great.
Have her play Eddie.
Yeah, she should have been Eddie. That would make more sense too. Like, oh, here's another version of Mary. I don't know why she's a fat, vomiting, gross guy, but whatever.
It just opens up more questions and discussions.
Yeah, exactly. They should have just made him one of the cult members. Imagine going like flashing back and he's just there in the background. Like, oh, okay. He was stayed in the town because the town does exist. This messed up version of it doesn't, but whatever.
Yeah, he's like, let's go.
Yeah. The only thing I want to say though is that just to I guess wrap it up for my thoughts is that I appreciate that we have adaptations that don't want to just retell the same thing, because like I said, there's a remake, and the remake graphics look amazing. There's gameplay, of course. It's very faithful to original and adds new things to it, but it's very faithful. And the graphics are so amazing. The performances in that game are amazing. The main guy who plays James is legitimately one of the best performances I've seen in a video game. So there's no point really to just have the exact same thing except condensed and with shitty special effects. So I appreciate that they try to do something different. And some of it worked for me. I actually do like the reveal of the psychiatrist, like not the psychiatrist character herself, but just like the reveal of it all being in his head. That feels very Silent Hill. I just don't like a lot of the other changes. I really don't. Overall, I was okay with it at first, but like the more and more I think about it, the more and more I think the Angela Laura reveal, the reveal itself is corny, but the idea of it could work. And at first it worked for me that she's just different versions. And it made it a little bit more like tighter, the narrative. So you didn't have all these other different characters. It just like added more to the Mary character and how tragic that character is in this movie. But it just didn't work in terms of the reveal is just very like I joke and say it's like the Dark Knight Rises, where it's like, oh, you should use your name, Robin. Right? Remember, Robin? It's like, oh, my name is Angela Laura Anderson, Mary Crane Sutherland, whatever the fuck her name is, Jebediah. It's like, all right, I get it. A Pyramid Head, that's her name too. Like, what? It's just, I don't know. It worked fine for me until the actual reveal, because I guessed that also. I guessed that it was going to be the reveal. I'm sure you guessed it too. It's not like it was like very hard.
Yeah. I figured, to be fair, I did figure like that. I feel like I was just like, the woman that played Angela, like I thought looked a lot like the same actress.
Yeah.
So that's why I was very much like, oh, it's a different actress when I looked at IMDb. Yeah. But I was just like, they're probably the same character. And then the little girl, I was just like, I don't fucking know. And then and then obviously Maria looks exactly like Mary. So I was just like, those two are for sure versions of her. But the little girl, I was just like, little girl to be scary.
Yeah. I figured that was going to be the case because they didn't do anything with her the entire time. Nothing from the games. Like, they didn't even do the prank aspect where she's like pranking James the entire time and locking him in places. So I'm like, I mean, I guess there's a point where
she does.
But at that point, I already knew that she was going to be a version of Mary at that point. So I'm like, and then she's acting even creepy and stuff. I'm like,
yeah. That moment right there reminds me of a moment that I've talked about, moments that James does in this film that irritated the shit out of me, like him saying Mary and then the cult not noticing and him screaming while they're doing the ritual. Another moment is, which I just remembered, because she walks him into this room with Moth Mary, and then she and the baby, she puts the baby up against a crack, and then she looks herself, and it's like similar to the crack that's in the wall when he's in the closet in Pyramid Head, and he full on has his flashlight on like the entire time. It's like,
I was thinking that too. I said in my reaction, I was just like, turn the flashlight off, turn it off, turn it off, because it has a face. The thing trying to go after you, bro. It was like, I mean, he was doing his like thing. He was like recovering from it, so maybe he was just like, because he was like he was post He was like, because he's like still holding his head trying. That was also a thing that annoyed me. Is just like he's going up to the windows trying to take the boards off the walls. I'm like, first of all, you're on like the 6th floor, so what the fuck are you gonna do? You could jump off and die. Like, also there's bugs out there. You just escaped them. You don't remember those? So I just get my trusty whatever and just start beating the shit out of the mannequin before Anyway. But that's it. Like, I appreciate that he tried to do something different and not tell the exact same story again. But maybe he should have just told the exact same story again, because this just didn't really fully work. There's things I like about it. I think some of the performances are good. I liked the set design. I think is great. It looks very much like the game. So like everything aesthetically is accurate. It's just like the story they just did not nail. That's an important thing you got to nail in Silent. At least Silent Hill 2. 1 and 3, the stories are good in those, but if you want to fuck those over in terms of like characters and stuff, like they all right, fine. That's not as important. But 2 is important, and they just didn't nail it. It's just like maybe 40% of the way there. It's not good enough. But
so on the Cinefied scale, would you give it a maybe score?
Yeah, I'd give it a maybe, because like there still is enough. Because let's not screw around. This movie's bombing, like you said. This is gonna be on digital by like a week and a half from now. Like it's gonna be gone from theaters next week, because horror movies already have horrible drops in their second week usually, especially when they're bad. And this is gonna be gone by next week, and it'll be on digital like at the latest, like the second week of February. But
then we'll get a reaction from you. So
I'll get the digital copy. I'll splice it into my reaction that I recorded, where it's just me watching nothing, and then you'll see
watching nothing, just sitting in a black screen.
I'm gonna have to sync it up. It's just like but it was a fun reaction. The entire time I'm just like, that's not accurate. That's very much it. You're gonna see that a lot. Like, wait a minute, that's different. I don't recognize this.
I will say it is very fascinating that this movie is an hour and 45 minutes, and we've talked about it for 2 hours and 30 minutes.
I mean,
So it's definitely caught enough of like our attention that we're talking about it enough, and people seem to be wanting people to talk about it just to know how awful it is. So this is definitely the definitive version of knowing everything about this film if you actually don't want to watch it.
Exactly. We went through pretty much the exact. Well, not exact. I guess we jumped here and there, but for the most part, we nailed 90% of the chronological order of the scenes.
Nailed down the experience. But I want to end it on since we are now out of Silent Hill, we are most likely never going to return back there. So let's go ahead and dive into. I want your personal opinions since you are really big into video games, as you've joked multiple times on your channel. You're not much of a movie god anymore. You're more of like a gamer god. So let's just merge the worlds. Let's do video game movie adaptations, one versus one. See which one you come out at the end, saying is your favorite. So, and this is not all of them. This is just a random selection. There's a good number here, but let's just start with what we're talking about today. So Return to Silent Hill versus Silent Hill Revelation. Which one is better?
This is so much better. Silent Revelation is just, I've talked about it before, but it's just, it's I mean, if you want a so bad it's good movie, it's good. It's really bad. It's a terrible adaptation also of 3. Even though it does technically follow the story, it's terrible. Do you remember Kit Harington was in that movie? Jon Snow's.
I vaguely remember that. That was before that was before Game of Thrones. So
I think it was like right when season 2 came out, I want to say.
Oh shit, really?
I went to New York Comic-Con and I went there just because I wanted to go to New York Comic Con, and they had a panel for Silent Hill Revelation, and I was just like, I'll go. And it was like half full because nobody gave a shit. And I'm just in there. I'm like, all right, cool. And I didn't know Kit Harington was in the movie at all. I was like, is that fucking Jon Snow? I was watching Game of Thrones at the point. I was like, that's Jon Snow. I didn't know he was in this movie. And then
so he was part of the panel.
Yeah, he was there, and so was the director and the producer or whatever. Which, by the way, the producer got a dedication in this movie because he sadly passed away since the last movie. But anyway, so he's there, and everybody's there and stuff, and you can tell the audience just didn't really care. They were there for Kit Harington, and right at the end of the panel, everybody gets off the stage except Kit Harington stays, and everybody groups up in front just to take pictures of Kit Harington. And that was like the last 10 minutes of the panel. It's just everybody.
Just swarming.
Swarming, just like with their phones, like
that's the same energy that happens at film festivals where everybody swarms the stage, and obviously a lot of the actors walk off right away, but then some of them, such as forget his name, Kevin Durand, maybe, I don't know if that's the basketball player, the one that was in Clown in a Cornfield, and
he was in
Apes too.
Yeah, he was in the Apes. He was a Blob in X-Men.
Yeah, he stayed after and talked to people. I walked out early because not as soon as the credits rolled, because I was like, I gotta go get some food. But I've been told he stopped, and then Aaron Paul jumped off the stage and took photos with everybody. So it's you got those kinds of experiences. So I get people being overly excited and kind of marching over to the stage, and kind of being like, oh, this is what I care about, not the movie.
Well, I find it extra funny because I'm fairly certain Kit Harington thought that movie was stupid dog shit. So
didn't he follow that up? Wasn't his next movie after that was Pompeii?
Yeah. Oh, that movie's terrible too. Damn.
But directed by a video game director.
Yeah, video game guy.
I don't know what pop up.
Yeah, and then he was in Eternals. That worked out. Yeah, he needs to hire him.
Oh yeah, man! I totally forgot he was in Eternals because it was Rob Stark and him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forgot he was in the two. Yeah, and then there's a character named Kirsty, which must have been confusing.
Yeah. You're probably right.
Return to Silent Hill is a better movie, and it's so weird that this for a little bit had a way worse score. I think they have at one point 0%.
Yeah, 0% upon launch. When Rotten Tomatoes opened it up. So, yep. And I've had a good amount of people message me about me even liking it at all. being like, "You're a fucking idiot," and I'm like, "Well, I'm not messaging you back."
All right, well, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, it's like thanks for reading.
Yeah.
So after Return to Silent Hill, it's versus Silent Hill 2006.
Okay, well, I'll give it to 2006. I think 2006 just nailed the aesthetic and the story much better than this did. This nailed the aesthetic, it just did not nail the story. Also, I like that movie's like it actually takes its time. It's like 2 hours, where this is like it feels like it's like we got to rush, we got to get out of here.
And then after Silent Hill 2006 versus Resident Evil 2002.
It's okay. I'm gonna pick Silent Hill. I think it just nails everything much more than Resident Evil. Resident Evil's fun though. The laser scene is pretty good. That's still
that's an iconic scene. So
yeah,
is because Resident Evil does not. I do not have any sequels in this bundle of titles. So is that your favorite of those Resident Evils? Of this director's, not any remakes or anything.
Right. Yes, but I will say I would rather watch Afterlife. That's the fourth one, I think.
Okay, I would rather watch Apocalypse. That's mine.
Apocalypse, though, right? Yeah, Apocalypse has that like Mad Max, almost like. Wait, is that the second one or
no? It's the second one with in the city.
Oh, and Nemesis
place in Raccoon City.
Yeah.
So.
That one. I enjoy most of them. I'm not gonna lie. The last one has some of the worst editing I think I've ever seen in my life, but I still enjoy it. Yeah,
it's so abysmal. Like I honestly, growing up, I loved the Resident Evils, and then I even the one that takes place in like that weird asylum prison thing where it's like there's like a bathroom scene where they like come out of like the bath, like they come out of the shower.
I think that's Afterlife. I want to say that might be Afterlife. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I couldn't remember which one it was, but yeah, and then and then immediately following that one, we have this awful fun finale with Mila Djokovic just like. I mean, I'll give everybody that hates those movies a lot of things, but I will say like Mila like puts her all into those films.
Sure. She does a lot
and I feel like in the last one, it's like she cared a lot less.
Yeah.
So which could be her husband cared a lot less too. So
also it had one of the worst old age makeup scenes there, like when she's pretended she's like I don't even remember the context. She's like she's a clone. And there's an old version of her in the chair.
It was like the Wesker thing, where it's like the Weskers are clones, and who knows? Yeah.
It's dog shit. But the fourth one's really funny, bad. That's the only reason why I picked that one. As like it's just like the 3D is there, and it's really like it has that scene at the end where Wesker's like teleporting everywhere and shit. And it's so stupid looking. It's stupid in the game too, but it's even more stupid in the movie. But anyway.
My because like I said, I'm not a horror game guy, so I did the only Resident Evil I played all the way through, and that's because it had co-op. Was 5, which I played on PS3 with just some people that I do not remember their names, but it's just like, you want to platinum this? And I was like, sure. It's much easier to platinum something when you have someone saving your life 24/7.
Yeah, of course. And the AI is terrible in that game, so you definitely want someone co-op with you.
Yeah, no, sure. Absolutely. All right. Silent Hill 2006 versus Monster Hunter 2020.
I don't know if I saw Monster Hunter, honestly, because I'm not a big fan of the games. No, I did. I saw it. No. I take it back. I did see it because I remember thinking like the entire time, like, why are we doing this like military thing? And then they all die at one point. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I don't think they all die, but they all kind of like disappear from the plot. I can't remember if they all die. And then we're with Tony Jaa almost the rest of the movie. I'm like, okay, I'm good with this because Tony Jaa is awesome. And then the rest of the movie was kind of fun. I remember thinking like some of the special effects were cool. I think I watched it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty sure I watched this in a bootleg. Don't tell anyone. So like I remember the special effects looking cool, but it was also like there's like a casino ad popping up every like 10 minutes. So it's
the right way to watch a movie.
Because this is during COVID, so like the theaters were open, but it's like I don't want to go. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I put this on like almost more in the background. I would still pick Silent Hill. There's no point.
Okay,
talk about it.
Silent Hill or Lara Croft Tomb Raider from 2001.
Oh shit, that movie is a lot of fun. and Angelina Jolie kind of
that movie is a lot of fun. You know what's
Yeah.
not fun? That sequel. The
One that's like
sequel
Cradle of
is
Life.
dog shit.
The sequel is not good. You're right. But she kind of nails Lara Croft. Like, because Lara Croft, everybody's like, oh, sex symbol or whatever, which is true, but she's also really funny and clever and charming as a character, and she nails that actually.
Doesn't nail the British accent, but you know, it's fine.
No, that's fine. It's fine. I can forgive her. I forgive her. I'm gonna still say Silent Hill though. I think that movie's fun though. It's better than the other one. The remake.
I'll be honest. I'm surprised that Silent Hill's not been beaten out yet, but we'll see if it survives to the end. Silent Hill 2006 versus Tomb Raider 2018.
Well, I like the 2001 version better, so I guess that gives you your answer there.
Okay.
Silent Hill still, it's not bad. It's just very basic. Walton Goggins is in it though. So
I really like the 2018 one. I'm a big I unfortunately I feel like we've gotten very minimum of Alicia Vikander since then.
Yeah, that's really strange.
She was awesome. Ex Machina, that like
she won. Did she win for Danish Girl or she got nominated? I think she won.
She won for something. That's probably it.
I think it was Danish Girl, and everybody was like, "Yeah," but it was really for Ex Machina. It's like let's not kill ourselves. Yeah,
because that's how it works. Yeah. People say that about Leo too, where it's like, you know, because I always say like, yeah, he won for Revenant, but really he won for Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. I mean, him with the Quaalude scene it might be one of the best scenes of all time, where he's like just going down the stairs. He starts driving, and he thinks he's nailing the driving, and it's revealed later that he's just hitting everything. One of the best scenes ever.
That scene, and then also another Quaalude scene where Jonah Hill is like trying to call someone. He's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Just ratting it on himself over the phone too, right? Yeah, good stuff. That's a great movie.
All right. Well, I already know the answer to this one, but I'm going to ask it. Silent Hill 2006 versus a Minecraft movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Lava Chicken. I don't know. Silent Hill doesn't have Lava Chicken. No, Silent Hill. Silent Hill.
Silent Hill versus the Super Mario Brothers movie from the 90s.
Can I be honest? I actually do enjoy that movie. It's not good, but I do like it. It has some crazy set design. Like, speaking of set design, I'm still pick Silent Hill though.
Oh man, yeah, no, the fact that they got Leguizamo and they got
Bob Hoskins.
I mean, just crazy that you can go from. To be fair, I'm not that familiar with other performances of his work beyond Roger Rabbit, I mean,
it's great.
It's crazy
great
that they
casting.
got him.
I thought it was great casting too. If you really think about it, like just. I mean, first of all, getting Bob Hoskins to play Mario is crazy. But also, like, at the time, all we knew about Mario is that he's just an Italian plumber guy. And I'm like, well, that's a great. But now he goes wahoo and all that stuff. But he didn't do that back then. He was just like maybe a couple cartoons here and there. But for most part, he wasn't like that. So, like, he was a wrestler too in the Super Mario Super Show. If you ever watched that. No, they got a wrestler to play him in the live action segments. That was it. And so it was a good choice. They did John Leguizamo. I don't know what the fuck they were smoking with that casting choice, because I like him, but I mean, as Luigi, I don't know. You have to get someone that's like a little like, I don't know. Oh, wait, are you frozen? Oh, he's frozen.
All right. It froze again, but it's fine because you were done with your answer when it froze. Yeah. So next, so these will be easy to cut through. All right. Next is Sonic the Hedgehog from 2020 versus Silent Hill 2006.
Is there any other Sonic movies on this list?
No, just the original Sonic the Hedgehog from 2020.
I think I'll pick Silent Hills again.
Ooh, just out of curiosity, which Sonic would have beat it out?
3. Oh, if I picked 3, I would have put that. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Do you think Jim Carrey's going to end up returning for 4?
Probably.
Yeah.
He said he was coming back for 3, and then he played 2 roles. So like, I think at this point,
maybe 3 roles this time.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Who knows? He might voice Amy or whatever it is.
Silent Hill 2006 versus Welcome to Raccoon City.
Oh, I hate Welcome to Raccoon City. So Silent Hill. I really hate Welcome to Raccoon City.
Okay, Silent Hill. I own it downstairs on 4K. I've never watched it.
Yeah, it's not good. They really.
I love Primate, and that's the same director.
Yeah. I actually like the second Strangers movie, which I know is not something.
I totally forgot he directed that. Yeah, that one's great.
I had what's his name too? Pullman, the guy that's like really popular now, Lewis Pullman.
Have him in it?
Yeah, he's like the brother character. He's like the one that like fights off one of the strangers. Like, he even kills one of them. I remember thinking that movie was filmed very well, and I didn't like the first Strangers movie, and so I just went into this thinking it was good. Yeah, it's just like whatever. Oh, they stand there and look creepy. I've fucking seen this so many times. I don't understand. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was very stylish. I liked it too.
And we got like a 5-hour version of not 5-hour, but 4-hour version of the trilogy.
The trilogy everybody wants.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, this one's going to be really difficult, Chris. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is where we're going to break you. Silent Hill 2006 versus Eli Roth's Borderlands.
I did watch it. I know this is going to be a surprise, but I'm going to pick Silent Hill. I know it's going to blow your mind there.
All right. And then 2006 Silent Hill versus Gran Turismo.
I did really like Gran Turismo. Oh no, but it's so weird because it's not really a video game movie.
I know, this one was divisive.
Yeah, I mean it is, I guess technically. I did really like it though. I thought it was very typical. I mean, it was pretty much like F1 if you think about it, except just not as cinematically impressive. Let's say. I'm
still by far Neil Blomkamp's best movie since District
9. Yeah. I do like Elysium though, and I actually do like Chappie also. But they're like.
I never watched Chappie. I hated Elysium when it first came out, but I just rewatched it and I did dig it a lot more.
Yeah,
but
it's the best Halo movie we've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, God, I don't want to say Gran Turismo because it's just not really.
Gotta.
All right, I'll say Gran Turismo. It is a better movie.
Ooh,
I really like that. There you go. Silent Hill got killed. I'll say Gran Turismo. I did really enjoy it.
All right. Next, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Gran Turismo.
All right.
Five Nights at Freddy's is like, it's fine. Like whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't bother me that much.
Next is Werewolves Within.
I didn't see it. I've heard it's
you
really
gotta see
great.
That. It's really good. Yeah.
I heard it's really good. I really like the
by default is dead. All right. So
because that would probably have won. I've heard it's great. So
I will say it's not like I have it on Blu-ray. I will say I've watched it maybe 3 times. I think I'm probably done watching it because it's like a mystery type thing. And once you know who the person is, it's like, I don't care.
Yeah. It's so strange because it's based on a game that was it's like the game Werewolf, if you've ever played it. Like
okay. So it's based on that, or a werewolf is based on this?
No. The game is just a video game version of Werewolf, which is like a social deduction game where yeah. So it's even though it's a video game adaptation, it's like there's no characters in the game either. It's literally like a VR game. So it's a PS VR game that you just play with friends online. And I think that game's dead. I don't even think you can play it anymore. So like I don't think there's servers anymore. So it's a very strange adaptation. It's a good idea for a movie, though. So that's probably the only reason why Josh Rubin did it. But
yeah, you know what? You're probably right because it's very unique, but and it's very niche. Because it was a VR game, you said, right? Or no?
Yeah, it's a VR game. It was Ubisoft who does like the Assassin's Creed games and all that. But yeah, very strange.
I think when I saw that come out in theaters, because I have a weird story with that because I didn't watch it in theaters, but I was with my dad and we went to a comedy show. It's TJ Miller comedy show, which weird dude. Not saying he's not a weird dude, but he's a good comedy set and he's very friendly when like you just meet him. We were standing out there, we were waiting to like get in, and we looked across at the posters. My dad's like, Werewolves Within. What is that? Like, I'm like, I don't know. I think it's a game, like, but I'm not sure. Like, I haven't really heard of it, and they haven't sent me anything about it. And then as we're saying that, TJ Miller walks out of the movie theater, and he like looks at the poster. He goes, "It's supposed to be good." Walks into the comedy club.
That's good. So, that's
funny. So next after, well, not Werewolves Within, after Gran Turismo, which is the current champ, is Mortal Kombat 1995.
All right, I gotta pick Mortal Kombat. That movie's fun. That movie's a lot of fun still.
Which is now coming to 4K this year.
So
yeah.
That reptile special effect's gonna look really good in 4K.
Yeah. I will say I watched it for the first time last year. I'd never seen it before, and I had fun with it. But I was like, some of the CGI is awful. But then,
it was even awful at the time. It was like,
and then I watched Annihilation immediately after that, and I was like, wow, the CGI in 1995 was fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny because it got worse. And it also got more expensive. I don't know how that happened. Like it was more bigger budget.
That doesn't make sense to me because they also didn't have the same returning cast whatsoever.
Yeah, they got like James Remar as
James Remar, which I love him in Dexter, but he doesn't need to be a master of.
And he gets a haircut at one point, which just felt like James Remar got a haircut at one point. And they had to write it into the script. It was like, the fuck did you do? He gets a haircut. I don't know why Raiden would get a haircut, but whatever. Yeah,
because he's a new man.
Yeah, so he looks like the singer Sting now. But like, all right, cool.
After Mortal Kombat 1995 is Uncharted.
Oh, I didn't like Uncharted, so Mortal Kombat definitely. Uncharted just completely shits on the game. I
had fun with it, but I totally understand why.
I didn't hate it at the time. I was like, it's like a 5, but like the more I think about it, the more I really.
It's like a national treasure, a movie. So
yeah, sure, National Treasure's fun. I like National Treasure quite a bit.
After Uncharted is Detective Pikachu.
I didn't like it as much as I wanted to, but I did enjoy it. It has the most obvious twist of all time, but it's for kids, so yeah, whatever. I'll still say Mortal Kombat though.
One of the most at the time, one of my favorite memeable moments where he's walking across the bridge sad and he's like, "Gotta catch him up."
Yeah, that was good. I had a weird theater experience with that one because I saw it on day one.
Weirder than Minecraft?
Wait, what? Sorry.
You said weird movie experience. I'm like, weirder than Minecraft?
Yeah, no one threw a soda in the theater, sadly. It was weird just because it was day one and it was like at a late timing. So I thought like there would be people in there. There's literally 2 other people in there besides me and my friend. And there was another person in there and they were really into the movie. They were really hyped up. And they were not quiet. So, they were obviously not all like they were obviously special, so I didn't want to say anything. They were really enjoying the movie, and it was weird, but it was also kind of endearing because they were really liking it. I was like, I'm not saying anything. I'm not gonna be the grown asshole at the Pikachu movie telling the guy to stop having fun. So I'm just like, all right, this is my experience, and it made it more memorable because the movie itself is fine, but I probably wouldn't remember it. But I remember when Mewtwo shows up, that he was so excited. So shout out to that guy. He loved it.
There's definitely some cool moments. I mean, the Pokemon are just awesome looking in that film.
Oh yeah, they look great.
So, and Mr. Mime,
Mr. Mime's a weirdo. I love Mr. Mime. Ash's dad, as I recall.
And it's the first time that I was like, I don't think that one woman's a good actor. Caitlin, or I don't know that's her name, but I knew her from Supernatural.
Like that?
Yeah, but like that film, I liked her in Abigail. She's fine in Abigail, but then like Ant-Man. Like, holy fuck.
I hated her in Ant-Man 3.
Yeah.
They completely ruined that character because I really liked the daughter and
Cassie. Remembered.
Cassie. Yeah. And that whole aspect of the plot of them like bonding. I was like, that's adorable. And then they made her like some annoying activist of like, like what? Why?
They removed the 2 best parts, the 3 best parts of Ant-Man, and that's her, that actress that was playing her. You got Michael Pena and David Dastmalchian. You got those gone. It's just like, what are you doing? So
even though the second one's not great, that part where like the ghost lady reappears in the room, and then the David Dastmalchian's character just starts like reciting some weird like Russian like chant or like and they did like say this ritual or almost like I always remember that made me laugh. So
yeah. I mean, I personally, I'm very much on the outs with Marvel movies, but the Ant-Man, the original, to me is one of the ones that most people are like, but I thought was fantastic.
I loved it. I loved it too.
Yeah,
I like it in small scale too. There's
exactly,
no like we have to save the world.
Yeah,
like no, we just have to stop this asshole guy. He's being
it's just a heist film with one bad guy trying to stop them. So
and funny characters and good writing. So
all right, we're almost at the end. We got Detective Pikachu. Wait, no, you didn't choose that. Did you? You chose Gran Turismo. No, Mortal Kombat. Fuck, I'm further behind. Mortal Kombat, 1995.
1995
is where we're at. Versus Mortal Kombat 2021.
I had a feeling I was gonna have.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard because I actually really did like the 21 movie.
I do too.
It's not great. Cole Young was completely unnecessary. They should not have had him in it. And if he was in it, then he shouldn't have been as big of a focus. Kano's so good in that though. He's actually great in both of those movies. I'll still say the original because I grew up with that movie, but that is 100%
the opening scene of the 2021 Mortal Kombat is fantastic.
It's really good.
I mean, I guess it was a smart move on their part, but I'm like, I think it's just absurd that they were like, we're going to put the first however many minutes online. It's like, that's the best part of the movie.
That's the best part. And then, well, at the end, when they play the song and he says, get over here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when
I got a simple mind, they do the get over here. I'm like,
when the two most iconic members of Mortal Kombat come out of, absolutely.
That fight was pretty sick too. Like,
which was heavily in the trailers. That's another reason you shouldn't watch trailers, but you do it for your job.
That's what I did. I got really hyped. I remember. You know what's so funny? When that trailer came out, it was snowing. It was. I remember coming. I was shoveling my driveway. Came back in. I was cold as hell. I think I had a coat on too, and I watched that trailer. I had a great time. I was like, that movie looks amazing. And I remember that because that trailer was great, and the movie was good, but not as good as the trailer.
And let's hope for the new one to be
it looks fun,
a good time. So you're going with 95, right?
Yeah, I am going with 95, but that's more of a bias. I think
I'll be totally unbiased here.
You picked 21.
Yeah, but I'm going to say also, I don't think you're going to sway away from 95 with the remaining ones.
No.
I don't know. So
we'll see.
Next is Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah, no, Assassin's Creed is not good. It has a couple moments. I was like, okay, some of this parkour stuff is pretty good. It's just like whenever they did that, they also had it like in the yellow piss filter. Which I hate when any movie has that. Like it works for Breaking Bad, everything being yellow, but it does not work for every Hollywood action movie. I felt like everything back in the day was like, all right, make it yellow. We need the yellow filter. Put it over there. Every Michael Bay movie has it feels like, or something. Maybe not Michael Bay. Who am I thinking of? There's a director that always puts everything yellow.
Snyder?
Maybe. Oh, sure. That's not who I was thinking of, but that works.
Yeah.
Snyder,
which by the way, that I just said Snyder, and it links back to Return to Silent Hill, where it's like Sucker Punch. It's the same story.
That is true. Yep, it is 100%. Wow,
yep.
I didn't even think about that. That's 100% true. It is. James doesn't turn into a weird ninja lady though. But
that's true, and in the end he just ends up offing himself and doesn't get lobotomy, but
John Hamm. I remember John Hamm being in that movie.
Oh yeah, where he's just like where he does it and then he's just like, that's weird. You're normal.
Weird. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's weird. Anyway, let me get my paycheck and get the hell out of here. Go back to Mad Men. It's still airing.
Exactly. Next is Mortal Kombat 95 versus Doom 2005.
All right, I have a soft spot in my heart for that movie. It's nothing like the game. Like if you think Return to Silent Hill is inaccurate, shit. The Doom 2005 movie is nothing like the game at all. To the point they're mutants. They're not even demons. They couldn't even get that right. But Carl Urban's in that one also, just like Mortal Kombat 2. and hopefully
in a villainous Dwayne Johnson, which you don't see very often.
That's true. He was also in that Spy Hunter movie that never got made, which that's a video game franchise. Anyway, yeah, they were making a movie for Spy Hunter. They made a game with Dwayne Johnson of Spy Hunter, but not the movie. And he's also in Jumanji. There you go. That's a video game thing, kind of. But this is kind of. There's a video game in it, but this I don't really. I was just gonna say Mortal Kombat.
All right. Yeah. That was by far the most you thought about it. So.
Yeah, because the Doom 2005 movies, it's not good, but I have a soft spot. I watched that movie a lot on my PSP of all things because I got it like the UMD of it.
Yeah.
And I watched it a lot because that was the only movie I had for a little while.
Dude, I was just UMD, that is so nostalgic because I think I had like Dodgeball.
Hell yeah,
and like Sin City. I think like
eventually I got those, but the first one I owned was Doom because GameStop had it on sale for like $5 because nobody wanted it. I was like, well, I have $5. I didn't have much money, but I have $5 and I love Doom. That was the first time I saw it was on UMD. I was like, all right, this movie's not Doom at all. It had that one sequence where it goes first person though. I was like, all right.
Yeah, which I thought going into it when I watched it that it was like that the whole movie.
Yeah, so. I wish it was. Just give the Hardcore Henry guy a fucking Doom movie. That's all I ask. That's it.
I don't know what he's up to. He did Nobody, which was fantastic, and then he did the John Cena one, which I liked with Idris Elba, but it wasn't anything crazy, but I liked it.
Yeah, at least it's gonna work. Maybe one day.
I feel like he should have just stuck with Nobody too, but maybe the paycheck was bigger on the
Yeah, I mean, one day we might get an accurate Doom movie, but I also thought that about Silent Hill 2, and that didn't happen. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see how accurate you feel this one is. This one is actually one that back in the day you covered for CRP Rights before we became Cinefied, which is Doom Annihilation.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about Doom Annihilation. I was like, yeah, that was one
of the first things you covered for the site.
Then I remember, and I remember also same thing with this movie. I was very curious. I'm talking about Return to Site. I was very curious about it just because there was no marketing for it, and it was like, well, this could mean one thing. This could mean two things. One, it's shit and no one cares, and it's just going straight to DVD. Or two, it's so accurate to Doom that they said we can't put it in theaters because it's just mayhem and killing, and nobody would see that because that's how Hollywood works sometimes. They're like, oh, awesome killing. No one wants to see that. And then the John Wick movies come out, and that's literally the only reason why those are successes because it's just endless action. But sadly, it was the former where it was just kind of dog shit. I think I was a little bit more positive at the time because it's straight to DVD.
Yeah,
but it's shit. It's a bad movie. It's
all
bad.
Right.
Yeah, and the main character's name is Joan Dark, which I'm like, are you really gonna do a Perfect Dark reference in your Doom movie? Because that's the character from the game Perfect Dark.
It's the only way you can get oh, wait, hold on. Never mind. I would say, well, you're saying Near Dark, right? Didn't you say that?
No, Perfect Dark.
Perfect Dark.
Near Dark is great too.
Yeah, that's why it messed up in my head. I'm like, wait, Near Dark's
Perfect Dark is another shooter. Is a very popular shooter.
Oh, Near Dark. I'm thinking of the Catherine Bigelow thing.
No. I'm saying Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark's a game.
I keep getting fucked up.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Perfect Dark is a shooter game on the N64, and the main character's name is Joanna Dark in that. And they named the main character in this Doom game Joan Dark, or this Doom movie, as a tribute because whatever. And there's like a bunch of that stuff, and like they named a bunch of characters after other video game characters. So there's like obviously some reverence for video games in general, but it feels nothing like Doom. They have a BFG at one point. It's the worst BFG I think I've ever seen in my life. I thought the Doom 2005 movie fucked it up, and then this one really messed it up. It's bad. Mortal Kombat's so much better. Like it's not even like shit. I think Annihilation might be better too. Which
I was going to somehow make a Mark Rylance BFG joke, but
yeah. Doesn't he fart at one point?
Yes, he does. Yeah,
that's the only thing I remember that movie.
Because he's the good giant. He's the friendly one.
Friendly giant. In Doom though, that stands for big fucking gun. So it's a little different.
A little different. All right. Next, we're in our final two. I'm very curious your thoughts on these two films. We're gonna do second to last. Right now, it's Mortal Kombat 95, right? That's what you chose. That's 95 Mortal Kombat versus Warcraft 2016.
You know what? I feel so bad for Duncan Jones because he was like nailing it at that point. I love Source Code. I love Moon.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything in between actually. Source Code.
He's only done 4 total movies. He did Moon first. He did Source Code, both masterpieces in their own right. And then he did Warcraft because he loves the game. And then it was a huge hit in China. But it was not a hit in America, and they decided to not go forward with any sequels, which I think is kind of bizarre because it still made money. But
yeah, it made money. It's so, I guess maybe they thought it was gonna have diminishing returns in China even, but I don't know. But it's so weird. They could the best part of that is the orc stuff, and the CG for the orcs was pretty good when they're not near a human character, because then it just becomes like human character in front of a green screen, So, but they should have just made a fully CG movie, like all the cutscenes we get in the actual World of Warcraft game. So very strange, but and then
and then after that he made Mute, which was a Netflix original, which I did not watch.
I saw it because it's supposed to be kind of a sequel to Moon. It's not really. It's set in the same universe. Do you want me to spoil?
Sure, I haven't watched it, so go ahead.
The main character from Moon shows up in a cameo. I won't say in what context.
Okay, because I did know Sam Rockwell was in it, but isn't Paul Rudd the main character?
Yeah. No. What's Tarzan? What's his name?
Skarsgård.
Skarsgård. He's the main character. He's the Mute character. And then Paul Rudd's his friend, and I want to say it's Justin Theroux. I want to say as the other friend. I can't remember. And it's revealed it's like a detective kind of thing. Yes, I think
I thought Paul Rudd was the one that didn't talk, because I was like, why would you hire Paul Rudd to not be funny or act?
That's the thing. You watch the movie and you wish Paul Rudd shut the hell up, because I remember him and the other guy, the other friend, were both extremely annoying. And they also end up being the villains of the movie too. If I remember correctly, it's been a while, and I was so looking forward to it, and I thought it was extremely disappointing.
I'll be curious if we'll see what he does next. It's surprising he's been kind of dark. So
I don't know what's going
2019,
on.
2019. So
wow, if he does anything. All right, so the next one should be the last one, right?
Yep. So not Warcraft. You're not going to Warcraft.
No. Is it Street Fighter?
95 Mortal Kombat versus.
Is it Street Fighter?
It's going to be a big one. Rampage.
Oh, Rampage. Okay. I forgot. Yeah, that's another Dwayne Johnson video game movie. I forgot about that, because you don't think about it being based on a video game, even though I love Rampage, and it is accurate actually. All the monsters are just straight from the game too. So, and there's even helicopters, and they climb on a building. They do everything you want. I enjoyed Rampage, but I still have to go with Mortal Kombat. Now, if you put Street Fighter here, I would actually have a hard time, legitimately, because I actually really enjoy that first movie, mainly because of Raul Julia. He's fantastic in it. He's the only one trying. You are correct, but I still really like a lot of the other cast in it. I forgot what her name is, who plays Chun-Li. She's also Mulan. She was in
I don't remember, but I know who you're talking about.
But I really like that movie. It's goofy and stupid, but it's pretty much exactly what I hope the next movie is, the new one coming out. I hope it's just as goofy and stupid, because Street Fighter is kind of goofy and stupid. So, I think people take it a little too seriously. Street Fighter is really dumb. They're really dumb. There's a big green ape man that shoots electricity. I don't think we need to go crazy with the seriousness of it. And we don't need to do that Chun-Li movie that came out, which was really dog shit. It was really good.
Well, I don't think that no matter what, I don't think people are going to be over the moon for the new Street Fighter. I feel the same way for Mortal Kombat. It's just you can't really implement a story into something that really doesn't have a huge story. Like
Yeah.
like Mortal Kombat has a story, but it's really not anything that you
Very
can
simple.
put into a movie.
You
So
have to
it's
fight the bad guys and save Earthrealm. That's the story.
and then Street Fighter doesn't have a story, right?
It's pretty much the same thing. What's his name? Who's the Bison? That's the character Raul Julia plays. He's the main bad guy usually.
Who's being played by David Dastmalchian.
Yeah,
right?
David Dastmalchian. Yep, which is both awesome choice and also weird at the same time. We'll see, but weird because like Bison's usually like a buff dude and stuff. So like, but it could work. We'll see. Raul Julia wasn't buff and it worked.
Maybe he'll get like the Bane formula from like Batman Forever.
Venom or whatever That'd be awesome.
All right. Well, that ends it.
Yeah.
That's
makes way longer than you probably expected it to be.
This is the definitive answer for the best video game movie out of the ones I had. There's probably another one, but as of right now, Gore the Movie God selects Mortal Kombat 1995.
Yes.
We will have to circle back with Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat 2 coming out, see if they pull any weight here. But for now, we're going to end it there. Thanks for coming on, Chris. It's been fantastic talking to you. Sorry for taking so much of your time.
No, it was my fault. I kept talking about the Silent Hill movie that everybody was forgetting about a week. So
hey, you never know. It might become a cult classic.
Yeah. You know what? You say that as a joke. I have a feeling it will. Like in a year, people will come back like, you know what? It was misunderstood. I'm like, no. Well,
I think it has a good chance.
Yeah.
I think people once it finalizes its Rotten Tomatoes score, people will have that matter of fact, like it's awful, go into it, be like, it's actually the set design's pretty incredible. The CGI is not bad. I mean, like it was made for $20 million. It bombed at the box office. This should have got more people in seats. Oh, there's a winter storm. But all right, Chris, where can people find you?
You can find me on YouTube, GortheMovieGod, GortheMovieGod. It says right, spelled the same way. You can find about 4 million reaction videos a day. I do those, but I do occasional movie reviews and stuff. I want to do more movie reviews in the future. I need to get back into the movie watching though, obviously, but to review them, I need to watch them. So yeah. Besides that, I'm on TikTok and Instagram. You can find a lot of my shorter version of my reactions on there too. It's the same name, so you can find me there. That's it. You can't find me anywhere else. Yeah, if you want to come over, come on over and you can hang out.
Well, he's in New York, so find him.
Yeah. It's a small state. You can find me.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening to the Cinefied Podcast. You can find more of our episodes as well as our written reviews on cinefied.com, including our review of Return to Silent Hill. You can follow us on Letterboxd as well as all major social media. And now Pops and Popcorn. It's been 3 hours, guys.
Yeah. 3 hours talking about Silent Hill and dog shit video game movies. It takes a lot out of you.
So just follow us over there. Follow us on Cinefied. Go follow Gore. And then make sure to keep up with us and pop some popcorn, grab a drink. Remember, stay Cinefied. See you guys next time.